put in, read 4 numbers, stick them in. I'll twist 2 of them round.
Well, anybody who's a dyslexic in this world has to figure out how to accommodate, and we all do that. I knew words that I had to spell, and I could remember the page number that word is in the first sentence. So that was because you couldn't use a dictionary if you don't know what letter it even starts with. What does a dictionary do? But I knew that if I had this word I didn't know that was on page 92 of our textbook, on the first line, then I could find it.
And a short message for David. David, you need to turn original sound for musicians. The sound is breaking up. This is the point where we need to be quiet and behave ourselves, is it?
Quiet I can do. Behaving is a hard challenge.
Make sure your mic is clear, your camera not a drab. We'll show you how to host like a pro, manage like a king. With Zoom Test Kitchen, you'll be zooming with a zing. Zooming in, we're testing it all. Live on YouTube each week. From audio to video, no feature we won't tweak. We're the Zoom Test Kitchen crew, here to innovate. Join the fun, learn the tech, don't be late. Whether you're new to Zoom or an expert in disguise, we've got tips and tricks. We'll open up your eyes from polls.
John, listen to this guy. He's telling us not to be late, and we've got 2 minutes on the countdown. It's already 1 minute past the hour.
Or you can't share your screen, or if your audio
So when I was at the university, one of the graduate students was getting his PhD in astronomy. And I went back many years later, and it's been like 14 years, he still didn't have a PhD done. I said, you only have 7 years to do it. It's 14 years. Why don't you have it? He goes, well, we astronomers think about time in a very different way. So if we say it's 1 o'clock or noon, it's noon. I know my phone says it's 12:02, but we don't believe Apple.
We've got your back, no wreck. So tune in, don't miss out on this tech fest we lead. Every Friday, Zoom Test Kitchen, where you'll succeed. We'll make your Zoom meeting smooth, keep the tech in check. In the Zoom Test Kitchen, we've got your back, no wreck. These lyrics capture the essence of what the Zoom Test Kitchen does, focusing on testing and teaching about Zoom functionalities in a fun, engaging way. Zooming in, we're testing it all. Live on YouTube each week. From audio to video, no feature we won't tweak. We're the Zoom Test Kitchen crew, here to innovate. Join the fun, learn the tech, don't be late. We've got your back, no wreck. We've got your back, no wreck. These lyrics capture the essence of what the Zoom Test Kitchen does, focusing on testing and teaching about Zoom functionalities in a fun, engaging way.
Well, hi, everyone. Welcome to the kitchen. Robert's over there making fun of the song and how we're late. And I'd like to give people a minute to show up. 2 minutes, maybe.
Appreciated. David.
Good to see everyone. Robert, how are you today?
I'm good, thanks. A little bit tired, but good. Had a really busy week, and so I'm happy. Yeah.
Work busy?
Work busy and doing some setting up. I'll tell you about it later on. It's some really interesting stuff. Zoom related, so it's good stuff.
Awesome. Fantastic. Hey, Mike, how are you?
Doing good, David. Doing good. Just catching up with everything. And I guess we're going to be talking about why, when you made the slate earlier this week, all of a sudden that changed as of last night.
Wait, what did I do?
You want us to talk about 5.5, but 5.6 was released yesterday.
It was?
It was.
Wait a second.
Is this breaking news? Do I have to get a breaking news slate up?
David's got withdrawal symptoms. He's feeling anxiety now.
I hope it doesn't stop the meeting. Let me, I'm going to quick pass host to you, Mike, just in case this.
All right. All right. David's blowing things up already. It's only the beginning of the show, guys and gals. Look out.
I clicked check for updates. I just don't know if it's going to do it like by accident. I don't even see release notes. I'm so confused.
That would be correct. That would be the other thing that we should be talking about too. So why there's no .6 release.
Yeah. I don't have to update now. It's not going to make me do it. Wow. Okay. Well, that's interesting. Hey, Ray. How you doing?
Greetings, David. All's well.
Good to see you, sir. John Idelson, it's been like forever.
You know, it's we're going to have to stop meeting like this, David, or they'll talk.
I've missed you so much, my friend. Good to see you.
It's good to be here.
Same with Tony Mobley. Hello, sir.
Greetings, sir. I apologize for the delay in my response.
Yeah, you're good.
Stream Deck was kind of sticking.
You know what? I was just
glad
wondering.
to be here.
I was just wondering, actually, about, because you mentioned Stream Deck. Is there a Stream Deck action for, and I don't think there is, to turn on and off original sound? And there isn't, and I wish there was, desperately. Because like Robert said, for the beginning of the show, I wanted to have it engaged, but then I want to turn it off for just the talking part. And there is no button for that. That's really frustrating. Oh, well. Frank, hi.
Hello.
Good to see you, sir.
Good to see you too.
And Hasmuk's there with a fire roaring in the background. Check the lyrics. Expert in disguise. Asmuk, who is this strange person next to you? Expert in disguise. Check the lyrics.
In my gallery is very far removed from me.
Yeah. I knew who
I'm
you
just trying to make it obvious that I check the lyrics and I listen to it live every week.
live. We do live. We live Zoom. Jason, how you doing?
Doing well, thank you. Hope everyone is too.
I hope so. So, yeah, Mike. So, Mike, what is 6.5? Do we even know what's?
Do we know what they decided to do last minute before the weekend? Officially in documentation? No.
Looking at what's new, look at this. This is interesting. So, I asked update available. It said yes, it did, and then there's a what's new in this version, and this is what the what's new opens. Well, that's a little broken. Safari can't open the page. I don't know what to make of this.
Don't update unless there's documentation.
Yeah. I guess I'm going to say, I don't,
Unless this is your disposable machine, just in case.
yeah, I'll just go like that, I guess. Wow, that's interesting.
So officially I'm an expert in disguise because I'm officially running 6.5.6 on PC.
Oh, you are?
I am.
You notice anything different? Like, is it?
I just had something very weird in multi-speaker mode that I had up to 5 people in the multi-speaker, and I've never seen that before.
Up to 5 people in the multi-speaker. Gotcha, right. Huh.
Where there was 5 of us, like the time, like if there's a bit of a timeout, as we all know, before that person goes back to the gallery in multi-speaker mode. But it seemed like all 5 of us were up there for a lot longer than I seen before. But that doesn't mean that I've been in enough meetings that had multi-speaker on with many people in it. So
yeah. Has
Have I
anyone
noticed anything else? No, I haven't as of yet.
played with 6.5.5? Yes, Frank has. I mean, we have a new way, not a new way. I think the functionality is actually exactly the same, but the share looks a little different. If you open up share window, now I always found the other icons really confusing. These I think are better. So you can do content only, as background, over the shoulder, and side by side. So this never works when I try and share it this way because I'm showing my screen. But if you open this up, let's see what we get now. So again, it's not really going to work, but you get the idea. So this is the screen, and then the camera is down here. As background, this is the camera here that I'm moving around, and then the whole screen is in the background. And then side by side, just push them like this, and you can then make them bigger or smaller or whatever. So you do have some nice. Now, why did it change? That's strange. So I clicked on wallpaper. Wonder why it's changing the orientation. That really doesn't make any sense to me. I like the idea of the backgrounds. Look at that. So some of these, what am I missing here? Am I missing something? That some of these are horizontal.
But those windows are adjustable. There should be little handles on them somewhere. Like there it is for you.
No. But what I'm talking about is this square, right? If I go to see how now it's rectangular. So this is landscape, I guess you'd call it.
I don't know why it's doing that. I could speculate, but I'd purely be guessing.
It looks to, and now this is not even square. This is strange. I'm gonna actually screen share. Let me do this, and I'm gonna actually screen share just because I want to see what it looks like. You'll have to tell me what it looks like in the share. Like, is it square? Yeah, it's like square in the share.
Because you're in the desert.
Or is it just me?
It's just you in the desert with the fox and that stuff.
No, but what I'm saying is
the image is square.
The image is square,
and,
yes.
And your head is cut off or your hair is cut off at the very top. So there's a cropping issue of your picture.
Dave,
right.
let me try it from my end.
Yeah, please.
And again, just to let everybody know, in the meeting that on YouTube, we're not seeing any of this. We're just seeing you pop up to the top right again.
Right.
Share.
Right. Thank you for that reminder. So you chose the side by side.
Yes.
Right.
Right.
Not going to do well, no, but the key is you have to choose a background.
Oh, okay. Yep. Let me modify that. So I'm going to keep the same layout, which should have my talking head on the left and a screen grab on the right. And now let me throw some wacky wallpaper behind it that...
Can you do that while you're sharing? I don't think you
can. Yeah. So let's see. This should be a blue wallpaper.
Right, so that's still
there we
wide.
go.
That's landscape.
And let's throw some funky purple. This one might be a square orientation. Let's see what happens here. Here we go.
That.
Yep. So it appears at least part of this is relative to the wallpaper.
That's so strange to me. That
ratio. That's the word that I'm looking for.
That don't fit the ratio of your screen. That's so.
Well, the wallpaper is 4:3 or the wallpaper is 16:9. And then the other issue could be also what you're sharing and whether that's 3:2, 16:9, 4:3, because you get issues when your presenter is sharing on a Microsoft Surface that's 3:2.
How did you change the background. So I'm in the share now. I've shared another screen now. So we have 2 shares going now.
Let me stop.
I'm just keeping tabs for YouTube. So right now on YouTube, we are seeing David just getting a live here. What am I seeing is because there's no shares now, or there was share.
I'm sharing.
Okay, nobody's sharing right now. Okay, yeah.
Sharing.
So when Jason was sharing, all we saw was Jason's screen with Jason top right on YouTube.
Yeah,
Right.
David
No matter
is sharing
no matter
right
what we
now.
were doing. Yeah,
Right.
no matter what changes Jason was doing.
Yeah, I'm sharing right now. But how do I change the background?
While you open up the share menu again, you don't have to stop sharing to reshare, if that makes sense. So while you're sharing, you click the share button, you get the window that says select a window or application. You change your wallpaper,
Gotcha.
you hit the blue share button, and then it forces a refresh.
Oh, okay.
Okay, and to that same end, there you go.
Well,
and to that same end, if you hit the share button, and let's say you like the wallpaper, okay, but now you want to change the dimensions of your talking head relative to what you're sharing, you should be able to, in that little right-hand window, resize either window.
Right.
And when you're in the motion of sharing, David, there's also the pause button, which will effectively freeze screen what's going on, which means if you want to go into something which is private to get to something else, you can freeze the screen, sort out your next share exactly where you want it to be, then carry on again. I think there is an issue with screen sharing at the moment, because I'm seeing reports coming through the community forums of funny things that happened if you unshare. If you do unexpected actions, is probably the polite way of saying it, you can break it. But I think there's also a move by Zoom in relation to ratios, because if you do video filters, it actually asks you to do a portrait and a landscape version of the video filter. So there's obviously some logic in the background now trying to think of the 2 ratios of normal screen layout and mobile screen layout.
Ooh, look what I just found. Sorry, didn't mean to interrupt you. So on my share bar up here, I don't have to click share again. I have a layout button that brings up presenter layout with just these things. And now presumably, but now how do you, oh, it just changes it on the fly. Look at that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it just changes it on the fly. But now I lost the background colors. Oh, because you don't have background colors in this way. Okay. Oh, look at that. I mean, this is a little clunky if you ask me, but that's nice. So you don't, one of the things that I didn't like about the implementation with using the share button, as you had mentioned, is that the share button keeps closed, the share window keeps closing after you make your selection. This one stays open. So I could leave presenter layout here and then just, I really don't understand why this doesn't make any sense to me.
And your head was in the background instead of the foreground. When the picture was bigger, it chopped off the top of your head.
Yeah, no, but the piece I don't understand is why it makes sense to have something in square when Zoom is by default 16 by 9. I'm sure I'm missing something. I'm not blaming Zoom. I don't get it at all. Yeah, Tony, go ahead.
Just wanted to ask David, on YouTube, we are seeing all of Ecamm as you were doing that. And I was just wondering, is there a setting that would maybe switch it out so that the audience could see what we see? I'm asking because I'm just curious.
So, no, there isn't, because the new screen share stuff that we're doing here, it doesn't stream to YouTube. Right, Mike?
Correct. Yeah.
All
Right.
is
Great. Yeah.
literally the screen share. And so
no, that's not correct, because when you screen shared at the same time as Jason, and your screen share came on my second screen, that second screen went out to YouTube, didn't it, Mike?
No, the only screen that it is, again, whatever screen is shared last is the one that gets sent to YouTube. So if there are, we had done this many weeks ago, and when the multi-share was allowed, when that feature was added to Zoom, and I kept watching which one actually would get replaced. And so if somebody else did share right now, they would be taken over on the main video portion.
That's exactly what I was saying, because Jason was sharing and then David shared, and then David's share went out to YouTube, didn't it?
Yes, but
Correct.
no.
Sorry. Yes, in that order. Yes.
No, let me just clarify here. So let me go back. So people in YouTube, you can see what we're seeing in Zoom here. It's just small. This is what we're seeing in Zoom right here. What Tony is asking is in YouTube, all they're seeing is this screen right here, right? That all they're seeing is the screen share portion of this presenter layout. And so if I were to here, actually, now we're in Zoom seeing exactly what they're seeing in Ecamm via screen share, because none of these fancy layouts go out to streaming. So it's just the content only.
Right.
You all can see on YouTube, it's just small, and I can't make it bigger, unfortunately. I'm sorry. So that's in response to Tony's question. No, they can't see what we're seeing.
Can I just ask a question, David? While you're still screen sharing, if you go up to view, has anything changed in this new version of the app? Can you just determine what is shared on the stream?
What do you mean view?
You know, the top right-hand corner where you see speaker, gallery, etc.
No, you can't.
No, the same as this. Everything is still there for me.
Okay, so.
And if you run in side-by-side mode, then you'll have two versions of David. You'll have the screen share version with whatever wallpaper and layout that he chose, or this orientation. And then if you're enabled in the upper right-hand corner view side-by-side mode, then you'll have webcam David. So then you'll see webcam David, and then you'll see.
Mode anymore? I thought we don't have side-by-side mode because we have tabs now.
No, I got side-by-side mode. Let me see what version I'm running on this machine. Yeah, I got side-by-side speaker, side-by-side gallery, side-by-side multi-speaker.
Probably.
Yeah.
I don't have it. Okay.
Right.
Slide control. I can now. I don't know if this is new, but from this the panel now, I don't know what you call this. The menu bar.
Floating toolbar.
I'm sorry.
Floating toolbar.
Thank you. From my floating toolbar, I've got all the usual stuff: audio, video, participants, chat, share, pause. I've got the layout. I've got the annotate. Now I've got slide control right here. Is this new? Where I can select. No, it's not new. Okay, I can select someone from right here to be able to control the slides. I've got hide.
You can drag them on and off the toolbar. So maybe it was in the more menu before and recently got dragged onto your toolbar.
No, it's in the previous version. It's in 6.4 as well.
Okay, I'm clicking hide meeting, but nothing. Is anything happening for you guys?
That happens. That's your own self view.
I'm not seeing
when you're using multiple screens.
Yeah, I'm in multiple screens, but nothing.
Let me see. Let me see if I can demonstrate. Share Zoom window. Share Zoom toolbar. All right, let's see. David, I don't know what's going to happen if I share while you're sharing.
Let's try it. Let's see what happens.
So.
And Mike, tell us what so now you should be seeing his, I mean, in a few seconds, his SPX graphics.
Yes. And okay, there. So I just, on top of that, I just dragged the floating toolbar. There you see it mid-screen. And what hide meeting does is when I click that, my gallery view and everything that I had on my other monitor went away, and all I see now are the thumbnails of all the webcams. Yeah, so let me see if I share screen number, what screen is that? Screen number 3, okay. Okay, so on the right-hand side, there are your talking.
Change to him.
Yeah, and then show meeting, and there everyone comes back. So hide meeting, away you go, show meeting, there you are. What that's handy for, I don't know, because in my day-to-day practice, when I share, so typical use case, I have all the materials that are being presented in the event. I get all the different PowerPoint decks and keynotes from all the people. I put them together in one deck. I have it running on a second monitor. I share that monitor, and then when I do, and then I pass slide control over to who's ever on deck currently. And then I'm constantly having to go back over and hit show meeting so that I could see everybody else and what's going on in the rest of the room. So for me, I don't know what that's handy for, but that's what the show hide meeting button does.
And the reason it wasn't doing anything for me is because I always have Zoom in full screen mode. And when you have Zoom in full screen mode, it will not hide the meeting.
There you go. And the reason why I don't do it in full screen is because with Zoom apps and chat window and participants panel, you pop them out and then you float them to wherever you want within the real estate of your monitor.
So I do that. I pop them out and I float them to a different monitor, and I just have the meeting, the gallery view full screen on that one monitor. But it's a small monitor, so.
Just as a matter of interest, maybe this is something that can be used in a conference room when you are sharing a presentation in the conference room and you don't want any of the Zoom features to be on the monitor that you're sharing. I don't know, just thinking out loud now.
David, before we finish with going through the sharing stuff, I did notice something, and I don't know if it's 9.5.6, and I did put it in chat for you.
Okay, before we do that, I'm not, Robert, I'm not sure I fully understood what you just said. So if I open Keynote and I'm just going to open a random thing here, a random presentation. So what were you saying?
What I'm saying is, if you're in the mode of having the same thing on your screen as you have on the projector in the conference room, in other words, you're duplicating and you're not extending your screen, and you're sharing someone's slides, and you don't want all of the Zoom stuff to appear there, then you can hide it. Maybe that's what it is. I don't know. I'm just guessing.
But if you're screen sharing, so right now, I opened a presentation and I put it in, this happens to be Keynote, I put it in play in window. So I can have all this other stuff on, and then when I go over to in Zoom, where the heck is my menu bar? It keeps disappearing on me. There it is. And I hit share. Now I come down here. I can choose just the Keynote, share this.
You're sharing the Keynote on the second monitor, aren't you?
No, this is all on one monitor. I just chose the application window. I mean, this is a terrible, let me change the layout so that it's a little better.
I don't know. I was just guessing, David. Maybe I haven't, like you said, there are no release notes. I don't know.
Right. I'm just saying that if you're mirroring your screen, if I'm mirroring my screen, then yes, this whole thing meaning Ecamm and Zoom and all that stuff is going to go out. But if you're somehow mirroring the Zoom share, then no, you can select just the, yeah. I don't understand why my thing keeps disappearing.
The floating toolbar.
Yeah, but I know there's a setting for that. Am I still? Let me take myself off this and figure this out. So if you go into your settings, there is a setting for keeping that thing floating or not, I think. Reset Zoom order for the default order. Pin Zoom work, no. Zoom rooms. Well, it's not there. Meetings and webinars.
By the way, the settings layout and nomenclature has changed a little bit.
You mean in the back end?
Specifically, where I went in through is during this meeting, either on audio or video icon, when you hit the caret and you get the more menus and you choose settings, and then it taps into the workplace app, that layout and nomenclature.
Yeah, that was actually, yeah, that changed before. That changed in 6.5, I think.
6.4. I've got in 6.4.
Oh,
the changes.
Yeah. Where the heck is keep that thing? I know there's a setting for it. Can't find it now. Sure, keyboard shortcuts at my account. It's really frustrating that it keeps closing. Oh well. In any case.
Found it.
Oh yeah, where is it?
Settings.
Yeah.
In the settings window, left-hand side, the label's called meetings and webinars.
Yeah.
And you scroll down almost halfway to a box that says controls.
Keep meeting controls visible. Yeah.
Correct.
Interesting. That was toggled on. I've always had that toggled on. There's something about screen share.
It's when you screen share that it.
Well, just everything gets messed up when I screen share.
Did it throw it behind another active window, perhaps, when you screen shared?
No, what it was doing was, so when you screen share, it pops it out of your gallery into its own little it's genuinely floating. But then when I stop screen sharing, it doesn't pin itself back to the gallery. I have to, and that's in part because again, I keep my Zoom window in full screen. I have to unfull screen it, then it pins itself, and then I can full screen again. It's just a quirky little thing, which is why I never screen share.
So now you can get AI Companion to write the release notes for 6.5, David.
That's what we need to do. All right, 6.5.6. Yeah. So that was one of the big things. The really big thing I think was the language support, but screen share presenter layouts was a big thing also. Yeah, go ahead, Frank.
You know when you share your own screen and you get the infinite video feedback loop? I think there may be controls now that prevent that. It's to prevent repeating window effect for my shared screens.
Wait a second. Where is that?
You know where you get all those backgrounds under the layouts?
No. Yeah.
That's underneath that. There's more options. The very last option is prevent.
I don't
know the inception thing.
Yeah.
I'll take a screenshot.
No, wait. I want to find it. So it's in video and effects.
No, it's in share.
I'm sorry. Share. Preview available content. Share entire desktop. Advanced. Hardware acceleration.
I put in chat.
I don't have that. Let's see. Yeah, no, that's. Oh, in that, I'm sorry. I was over in settings. I apologize. Okay. So interesting. Prevent repeating window effect for my. All right. So let's try that. So I'm going to go to share and I'll pull this over here and I'll make this just until I have it up so you can see. So there it is. Prevent repeating window effect from my shared screen. So what I'm actually going to share the screen that has Zoom on it. And let's see what happens.
You have to A/B test it. You have to have it on and have it off and see what the difference is.
Yeah. Okay, so now let me stop this share. And I'll do it again. So this time we're going to turn that off. I'm going to share desktop this one.
Interesting that the third screen, David, that you're doing right now is coming over quite nicely on YouTube.
There's zero difference. I must be doing something wrong. Because it's, yeah, zero difference. Again, it's I'm probably not. Someone else should probably test this because
Oh, and David accidentally just knocked himself out of the meeting. Hello, everybody. I guess I'll take over until David comes back. But yes,
that
everything
removed the
was looking
duplication.
really good.
No duplication now. He's left the meeting. It works
No
perfectly.
duplication. Yeah. And we're
Eject.
about to welcome
It's
them
the
back.
eject button.
Don't laugh.
Don't laugh.
I pressed
Back
the
to
wrong
Dave.
button. Thank God I passed host already. By the way, last night on the rundown, I did that twice. I pressed the wrong button. Someone else should test that Inception thing because I'm sure that my setup is preventing me from. I don't know, Frank, if you want to.
Oh, no, I have a complete aside. There's a gentleman who keeps coming to the meeting every Friday after you leave and asking Ecamm questions, and we keep telling him to come before you leave, but he doesn't.
Hi.
Dan's here.
That's
and
not
that's who
true.
we're
I'm
talking
in the
about.
room right now.
Hey, you
I'm
made
just
it! You
being
made it on
quiet.
time.
That's all. I'm just being
Okay, it's
quiet.
now become the Ecamm test kitchen.
Oh my God, Equan. You know, I'm so disappointed. I'm talking to you on my iPad right now because I'm working like crazy right now. But I love this show. I just love this show. This is phenomenal. I mean, did you hear me?
Yeah, we got you.
Oh, good. Yeah. I just can't believe I wasn't here in the very beginning, in the inception of this whole thing. That, you know, that it's like, this is like, to me, this is candy, you know? I got a sugar rush from this. I love this. Love it. Yeah, I've just been having a hard time with, just such a hard time with with Ecamm, you know. And somebody recommended Mimo Live yesterday, you know, so I tried that. But Mimo Live, you know, there's watermarks. It's really complex. Ecamm's pretty simple, but it just doesn't seem to do what I want it to do. All I want is nice graphics. That's it. You know?
Jen, I just put a link in the chat. Set a time. I'll sit with you and I'm happy to work with you on it. All right. Use just click on the link in the chat. That'll open up my scheduler and you can find a time. More than happy to do that.
All right. Very, very good.
It said that.
Yeah, actually, there's a lot of things I want to talk to you about that have nothing to do with Ecamm or the Zoom test kitchen. But definitely gonna do that. Take you up on that.
Okay. We also got new improvements to audio settings in meetings on mobile. So I'm going to join this meeting from my phone. Done. Okay. Okay. You can let me in. All right, now hold on. Let me. Okay. So oh, wait, I can actually show this. I just have to set it up. So we can see what the changes look like. And give it a second. It's coming through. Bum, ba-dum, bum, bum. Come on now. You can do it. There we go. Okay. So this is what it looks like on mobile. And now they're saying, what did they say? They said, users can access and modify micro modes more efficiently before or during a meeting through an improved audio menu. The redesigned interface provides quick access to microphone modes, noise removal, personalized audio isolation, the original sound for musicians. This streamlined approach helps ensure optimal audio quality throughout the meetings. So I am here and I don't see where to do that.
Have you got 6.5 on your mobile?
I mean, I think I'm updated. Let's check. Good call. I didn't even think about that. Let's see.
I don't see an update for Zoom yet, but that's typical. Normally normally the App Store for iPhone and Android take a few days longer than the desktop updates. They have to get through the bureaucracy of each of those stores.
Yeah, good call. That's absolutely correct.
They just can't keep up with you, David. You're too fast for
no. Let's go,
updates.
Apple. Come on, man. Meeting settings. Yeah, it does. I'm sure it's just not here yet because this is not more helpful at all. I wouldn't even know where to search for it or to look for it. All right. Well,
it was just nice to see this view. This is so clever what you're doing here. It's super cool, David.
What am I doing? What are we talking about?
Oh, with your mobile set up there.
Thanks.
I've been sharing my my iPhone screen a lot in meetings this week, and it's built into Zoom. You can do it tethered or untethered.
Wait, what? Hi, Sherry. Is that also under share?
Yeah, it's in the share menu advanced.
Okay, wait a second. I didn't know this.
Advanced. I'm tethered right now, so I'll just do it via cable. Sometimes it doesn't recognize it until I plug the cable back in.
Via AirPlay.
Of course, it might be my hub here. I've been doing it at work. I might have to plug directly into the laptop.
Oh, you have to. It's interesting. Yeah, I'm doing it also.
What kind of dance?
So what happens is, that's fascinating. I really want to. Oh, you can. So can you all see my screen now?
Yes, we can.
Oh, but you can also see the share. Let me stop the share real quick because this is actually really interesting. So, let me get out of this and let me go back to this. Hold on. Oh, where's the button? Where's the button? There it is. Okay. Oh, shoot. Well, yeah, I have to do this again and then I can show you. I'm sorry. So when the way this works is you go into advanced, as Frank said, you can choose iOS over AirPlay. And so and then what it tells you, the instructions then say, no, I can't can I do this? Hold on. What happens if I go like this? No, that didn't work. Okay. So what the instructions say is to then come in and click the share screen mirroring button, which I just did. And then what happens is you end up with, where is it? I have to do share again. Bear with me. iPad via AirPlay. Okay. So now, I'm not sure what you all can, yeah, you can still see me, I think, right? So now I have instructions on the computer that say, please connect to the same network as this Mac, tap screen mirroring, choose Zoom, David's Mac Studio. So you can see that it created, and there's an Apple TV logo by it, which that's the piece that fascinates me. It's almost as if Zoom is using an Apple SDK to create a virtual Apple TV so that I can AirPlay to it in Zoom. I don't know if that made any sense, but so if I click Zoom David's Mac Studio, then obviously it's going to not connect to my screen anymore, but now you can see it just as a screen share.
Yeah, when I tether by cable, I don't even have to do all that. I just pick it and it goes. I was plugged into a hub. I think the hub was interfering.
Yeah. I'm just to me, the implementation of that is really interesting. That why would it show up as an Apple TV device unless that's just a default placeholder thing? I don't know. I just think that's interesting.
And Frank, can you just share a use case? What would you be sharing from your mobile? I can't hear you.
Sorry, yeah, I forgot to unmute. I was teaching someone how to use a mobile app, so it was just easier if they could. We weren't obviously we're on Zoom, so we weren't together. So sharing the screen on my phone made it a lot easier to teach them how to use the app.
For demo purposes, yeah.
Just like David was doing just now. Yeah, makes sense.
There really is no good excuse to have a scene that I like the one that I just shared with you, other than to show off and for demo purposes.
And David, just as an FYI for everybody that are in the meeting with us, everybody on YouTube, when you were reading the information that you're prompted by Zoom, of course, we saw as panelists, we saw a black screen because it was waiting for you to do stuff. And YouTube also saw that black screen through that whole time.
Okay. So, right, because YouTube can't see anything that I'm doing. Yeah.
Yeah. So right now, as we see you sharing and it says starting screen sharing, YouTube sees a black screen before it actually kicks in.
Right. What do you think that's about? Why do you think, God, you have a lot of apps. Why do you think Zoom's screen share is so limited as far as streaming goes?
Are we sure it's not Google's fault?
No, it may very well be.
It's a different team.
Yeah, go ahead, John. We were actually talking about this towards the end of last week's show. Go ahead, John.
Yeah, there are different teams responsible for the different actions. So the streaming team is a different team to the guys that are building the share. So after the share guys get it all settled down and working, the streaming guys are then going to have to work out what we've been discussing. What goes to streaming? What goes to YouTube? In situations, which does it choose? What does it do if the portrait or gallery mode or whatever, they're going to have to decide what goes. If you've got your screen share and you click that button to get rid of all your floating bits of Zoom, all your floating windows disappear, don't they? So you can see the main screen. The question is going to have to be, okay, so what we're going to send out to YouTube? Would we make all the floatings disappear when you asked it, or would we get rid of them all the time? They're going to have to sit down and scratch their heads and come up with an answer, and we'll then probably decide it's not perfect, and maybe they'll change it again.
Yeah. So just as a reminder for everybody that uses the built-in RTMP streaming that Zoom has, is that you are not sending that locally from your machine out. It's sending it from their Zoom servers to YouTube directly, or to the service that you've chosen using that is the custom RTMP. So again, it's got to be in that, shall I do it this way, encoder. It's got to be built into the encoder profile. What inputs need to be in that encoder profile to send to X. So this would be, in our case today, YouTube.
And now we have the RTMS announced by Zoom, which is the software version effectively of Zoom ISO. That gives streaming people who want to create their own configuration a whole new set of tools to play around with to make their own solution when they stream it out of Zoom into something else.
Don't say X, Mike. That sounds like you're talking about Twitter.
Oh, sorry. Yes. You got to keep remembering that. Yes. Into Z, or should I say Z?
I think, sorry, I got distracted because I wanted to report Tiles has crashed. It's actually been happening for me quite a bit that Tiles is crashing. But also, John, you said that they announced the Apple TV integration. That's the Zoom in Apple TV integration. And so you think that this is connected? The reason why the AirPlay?
Yes.
That's fascinating.
Yes, I do. Because if they've done the Apple TV integration, they're likely to review a lot of the Apple things they're doing with the connection between the two.
Interesting.
Because let's be honest, it'd be an actual opportunity for them to have a discussion with Apple, when as Apple usually just go off on their own sweet way, don't they, and do things. But if you're actually doing an app together, you've got a chance for the two engineering teams to have a conversation. So that's great. Always take advantage of those situations. Oh, and by the way, you didn't notice it, but I did post very much earlier. Look at the app SDK, and we could add a button to your Stream Deck for turning on original sound.
David says with a big smile, even though YouTube didn't just see that.
Yes, YouTube, by the way, David is not frozen. That's just a look of shock and surprise.
All I've ever wanted, all I want for Christmas,
besides his two front teeth, I understand,
is a button to toggle original audio. I'll pay you to make me that button.
Even I could get that paid by Christmas, yeah.
Robert, what's up?
David, I just wanted to go back to your Tiles. Are you using the new version of Tiles or the previous one? Have you updated?
1.1, like the latest release?
Okay, because I'm using the previous version. I'm not having any problems with them crashing or hanging or anything like that.
So
just so you're aware.
My experience, I'm on 1.1.1. I'm sorry, I'm not looking at you. Tiles machines over here. My experience with Tiles has been that when I close it, almost every time I close the app, it crashes. And but this is the first time it's crashed mid-meeting. I've never had that before. So, and I think, am I back? Is it back in now? Yeah, it is. I have to say though, sorry, that's just, I mean, that's a cool effect. It really is.
This is like the highest point of vanity that you can experience, David. You in the middle
around me, is that what you mean?
Yes.
I need to put a different placeholder in.
Coming back to Tiles, I just want to share. Day before yesterday, I had a big event where I started off with Tiles and people were rolling in. I've told you that this is magic. People adore it. And we caught one person sitting there with a phone waiting for themselves to come on in a tile and then click.
When they get on screen.
Yeah, they like it. People like it. It's just so different. It's a really nice effect. However,
how many cameras do you put up?
I put up 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8.
8.
Yeah, but there is one danger in that if someone comes and does something naughty, you need to really keep an eye on the roll-in, the tracker down the bottom before it gets on screen. It's so easy to miss. And when you got a large group, I got it down to 1 second so that they're really rolling in and out quickly.
So they don't have time to do anything. Yeah.
Yeah, but that's 1 second per every 8. So it's around 8 seconds average per user, average. Yeah.
And by the way, David, I did mention to Jonathan the issue that you're having with the carving out. And remember how I was hiding behind you?
Oh, yeah. Right.
So I mentioned that to him.
Yeah.
So stay tuned.
Just as a reminder for folks. So what, actually, you know what, it'll be better to see it this way. So this is tiles over here, and you can see I've got the hole punch on and then off. So the yellow is the hole punch. What the hole punch does is it doesn't delete those cameras, those 6 cameras that it's kind of covering. It just hides them. So those 6 cameras are still there, which means that if you don't have, so the reason that I have 20 up here is because I want to have this sort of cutout effect, right? Of me kind of being in the middle. And this is really the only way that it looks good, with my head not being squished, if you have 4 rows of 5. So having said that, when you put the cutout over this, it just hides these cameras, which means that there are people still there. You just can't see them. And so, after I get my Stream Deck button to toggle original audio, original sound, my next Christmas wish is that the cameras that are back here are actually cycled into the viewable camera, right? That people basically are only put into viewable cameras, not into the full grid. That would be my next wish.
I've mentioned that to Jonathan.
Thanks. Hey, Hasmik.
Yeah, question for Robert. I mean, when you use tiles, do you do that only in hybrid situations, or do you feed the tiles window into your meeting itself so that everybody that comes into the meeting gets a tiles view?
Okay. The 2 different use cases, put the hybrid to the side. If I have these huge meetings where people come in early, it takes about 15, we start about 15 minutes early. And that's when I push it into a window and have that spotlighted on the screen for everyone. Yeah? And it runs through. What I've noticed is that when I first let people in, I hold the tiles for around 4 seconds because there are few people in. But as you get more and more people so that they cycle through and don't repeat themselves, you just reduce that down to 1 second, and you get loads of people coming in, and it's really good. And it keeps them busy and occupied at the beginning so they don't get bored and go off. And literally they sit there waiting for them to come on the screen. It's really brilliant.
Yeah, that's good to know, because I have an event with possibly 300 people, and I was been thinking about this. So that's a very useful way to apply tiles into your production.
That's right. There's another way of doing it, putting tiles in your intro. So you might have a logo and then you have it transparent, and then you just roll the tiles in the background so that when people are coming onto the event, they can see themselves. Of course, they have to turn their camera on. So you see, the cheeky thing is, it's a neat way to encourage people to turn their cameras on at the beginning of the meeting. If they don't have their camera on, they don't scroll up the screen.
Well, almost all my meetings, if your camera is not on, you're not in the meeting.
Very cool. All right. Yeah. David just stepped away quickly. So again, if anybody has any questions on YouTube, you guys have been very quiet today. I don't know if that's good or bad. But if you do have any questions for the panelists here, by all means, let me know in chat and I will relay it to the team. So welcome, Sherry. It's good to see you this week. All good this week?
Great to be here. I'm still lurking, just watching.
Excellent. Have we freaked you out yet? If so, let us know, and then we'll help you.
100%.
But the point is not to be overwhelmed. The point is to, if you do have a lot of different questions, definitely, we're all here. We've all been there before, where we've had to figure out Zoom from the very beginning. So let us know.
Okay, that's great. Thank you,
Robert. Yep. Go ahead, Robert.
Yeah, you can see David's meters have frozen. I remember I told you about 3 weeks ago that I started having the same problem.
Yes.
And we've finally figured out what the problem is. It isn't a problem with the WLM meters plugin. It's the new version of the Mac OS, which has a lot more power settings per app, where you can make an app go into sleep mode if it's not active after a certain period of time. And so what's happening is, even though the app is running, you see it on the screen, it actually goes into this, I don't know what it is, like some sort of hibernation mode, where it is not as active as it usually is. And it slows down, and all the meters just slow down and gradually grind down to a halt. And we discovered this in the workshops of Mimo Live, because someone was complaining that the web page with the remote surface was becoming inactive. And it turns out that the Mac OS had that browser on this power or power consumption mode that is low power consumption, and just reducing the activity of that app. I don't understand how it works, but that's basically it. You need to switch it off.
So, Robert, you were able to find that setting?
I don't know where it is, though.
The fun way of testing. That's good. No, that's good.
Robert, is that on Intel chip or are you on an M chip?
I'm on an M chip.
Okay. Because that sounds like something that Intel has done on Windows for a while, so I was just wondering about that.
Yeah. It's on an M chip, and I think it's something we need to really be aware of in production, because you turn your background, you're focused on something, and you don't realize that something's gone to sleep behind you.
Cool. Robert, we actually have somebody on YouTube has a question for you. He says, I guess this is related to your event that you did tiles. Just one or multiple tiles display into the meeting, Robert?
I just do one tiles display, which I put up, and it has 8 windows that are rotating in it. So let's be specific here, because this is one of those Zoom things. Tiles is the name of the application, but you also call that window a tile. So I have 8 of those little tiles in one big screen.
Yeah, very cool. Very cool. Yeah, just to make sure that everybody understands on YouTube.
David, were you listening to Robert?
Just for the last 2 seconds. I'm sorry to step forward.
So he just explained something that may be the reason that your tiles is not functioning correctly.
And your meters, for that matter.
And your meters, for sure. Yeah.
Okay. What am I doing wrong?
Over to you, Robert.
You're not doing anything wrong, David. Don't blame yourself for it.
I mean, I'll sleep fine tonight, but I can still be wrong.
The new version of Mac OS, I forget the name. Sequoia. Thank you. Sequoia the tree. It has some power management tool at the app level. And we discovered this with the remote surfaces in Mimo Live, that some of the remote surfaces were just switching themselves off if they weren't being actively used. And we couldn't figure that out. And then Oliver told us that you need to be careful with this setting. And it's a power setting in the OS at the app level. And this is the same thing that's happening to the meters. I had the same problem that you're having with my meters, the WLM meters. And it's also in the app. I was using OBS to just to screen scrape it and push it through on a virtual cam. And I changed the setting in there. I can't remember what it is. I'd have to go and look for it. But it's one of those things you do once and forget about. It's something to do with power. The power.
So there's power nap, prevent automatic sleeping on power.
Oh, that's it. It's the automatic sleep or nap. Which one did you choose?
Yeah, here, I can pull this up for everyone.
Huh?
So energy, prevent automatic sleeping when the display is off.
But this is display, isn't it? I'm talking about the app level.
Oh, so you have to go into the app. To go into each app? I don't quite understand. Let's see. are apps? I don't even know where apps are. Does anyone know where apps are?
I can't remember how to do it because someone just told me, do this, do that, check this, check that. And I did it without thinking about it and just left it.
I always look in privacy and security. That's where I usually find all the things like this, but I haven't tracked down exactly what we're looking for yet.
That's in, I don't know where anything is. This is just embarrassing.
What if you search the term power management?
Yeah, I searched power and that didn't work. So, all right, so here are my apps. App management. Nope. All right, well, we don't have to do this now, but I'll keep looking for it. Power.
Sorry that I can't remember, but the point is that that's the area to look for the issue that we're having, David. So it's not that the plugin is broken or anything.
Huh. Okay. Where are apps? I don't. It is privacy and security, right? I think it is. I think you were right about that. Not app management. Didn't there used to be a thing where you could see all your apps? I don't know why I can't find that now. All right, well, we all don't need to sit here staring at me, look, trying to figure this out. Or you could.
There's one called Disable Background Refresh. Some applications refresh data in the background even when not actively used. I don't know if that's it though.
Nope, nothing there. Well,
I'm just recalling it. I don't think we did it from the menu dropout options. I think we went into terminal mode, and there was an actual command that I was asked to put in.
Okay.
This. I'm sorry, but I just can't remember.
No, it's fine.
Activity monitor. In activity monitor, then you go to the energy tab in activity monitor, and then you can flag whether the app naps or not.
Oh, okay, hold on. Activity monitor. Where's activity monitor again?
It's in your utilities.
It is in
you launch it.
All right, disk utility. Hold on. All right, what am I looking for again? Oh, terminal. No, not terminal. What am I looking for?
Activity monitor.
Got it. Sorry about that. Okay, here it is.
Go to the energy tab.
Yeah. All right, so audio hijack, for example. And what am I supposed to do here?
In energy tab, there's in the table you'll see app nap.
Yeah.
I don't know how you turn it on or off, but it shows you which app is napping or not.
Yeah. Sorry, someone's calling me. Keep talking.
I think I found it.
Oh, there we go.
To disable AppNap for a specific application in Mac OS Sequoia, locate the application in the Finder, select it, do a get info, which is Command I if you don't know. In the get info window, find the prevent AppNap checkbox and enable it. And then there's also adjust power nap settings, go to system settings, battery options, and configure power nap settings for your Mac when it's on or not plugged into a battery.
Nice find, Frank. Thank you.
I don't have Sequoia installed, so I don't have to deal with it.
To be very honest with you, I actually asked Andy's team to confirm before I upgraded my Macs that I run all of their tools on. And they confirmed that it was stable, and that's why I did it. But I wasn't aware of this specific issue. Well, it's not an issue. It's just some sort of functionality that you need to be aware of.
Frank, can you just say that again? If you
Sure.
Get info.
Open the Finder.
Mm-hmm.
Find your applications folder.
Mm-hmm.
Find the application that you want to stop from doing this napping thing.
Right.
Do a get info, which is Command I, or you can right click and go get info.
Got it. Yep.
And then there should be a prevent app nap checkbox.
Okay.
All the Windows people are falling asleep.
No, we're still here. Actually, I think I found something that is interesting, but I want to finish up what we're doing here first. And our friend that went into jail last week made it through this week. Our friend Hershey Bar is here. How you doing, Hershey?
Good day, everybody.
Hey, Hershey, I hope you're going to share that experience with us.
It was wonderful. I changed my name, and then Mike comes in. He's like, wait, that's Harshit. Well, why is he in jail? But as soon as I came in, I saw the video. But on Zoom, when you first join a meeting or anything, you cannot change your name. So until you're invited into a meeting, like a room or a breakout, what have you, you can't get to the panel view. I use a screen reader, so I hit Alt-U, and that brings down the panel view. That probably should work without a screen reader, but that's how I bring it down. And then I then go to More and then rename and change my name. But yeah, it wasn't bad. But we have some cool tools. You know, keep raising your hand, you go to jail. You know, if you are a Zoom bomber, go to jail.
Yeah, that's Mr. Lord Zoom doing those infamous secret apps in the background. I need all the help I can get.
Yes, and if you have any complaints, send it to hatemail@idon'tgiveadamn.com.
Awesome. So what I noticed until David comes back is what I noticed is that when I do my effect now, and I'll try to make sure I keep talking while I'm doing that, that I am now officially turned into that as my effect happens. I don't know if that is new or setting, but Johnny, you just did that and it didn't do that for you, right?
That's because John isn't nodding his head like you were, Mike.
Right, but again, when I'll do it again, take a look at because right now I haven't got, I'm using my full background, right? This is real background, but it kicks into a virtual background when my effect is happening. You see? Now all of a sudden my background is yellow, and now I'm coming back to blue.
For those that want to know the detail, this is the standard reactions. There seems to be a slightly opaque overlay which comes when you use the standard reactions on PCs, but I'm not seeing it on the Mac side.
Yeah, because Jason, you're doing it too.
Frank's going a bit red with his hearts.
But that's on purpose. That's part of they want that little tinge of color with the hearts.
I think it's reaction specific because the balloons go red.
Yep.
And the rocket ship goes slightly yellow. Let's see. Mike did the thumbs up. That was really yellow. Oh.
But you can see, I can see that it's cutting through with you, Jason. Like if you looked at where your headphones are, you can tell that it's basically the colors doing a blur.
Yeah, right. Mm-hmm. It's like another piece of glass.
They're putting a layer or something on top.
Yeah, that's exactly it. Let me hit those thumbs again because that was really yellow. Yeah.
And even if you mouse over the reactions on the toolbar now, you're starting to get little animations are happening. I feel that somebody's finished all their work before their holiday starts, and they've just been throwing in little extra bits of tweaks just to make it look a bit more sexy. How they're going to explain these graphics to Hershey, I don't know, because we do want an audio description of these great little graphics.
I do see like rocket and so Control Shift Y. That goes to the reactions box. I'm gonna hit tab, balloon send with effect, rocket, thumbs up, joy. So let's try joy. Was that yellow too?
No.
Okay, so tears of joy is not yellow.
And remind us, Rashid, are you PC or Mac? You're PC, correct?
I'm PC. If I may ask you, ladies and gentlemen, what is my frame rate? Because this morning was just terrible with Spectrum. I was getting 1080p at 7 frames.
I will spotlight Hershid for everybody, and everybody will see you on YouTube.
Copy.
Hi, everyone. Sorry about that. I have some work guys here. By the way, while we're looking up his frame rate, you can see that Tiles quit again while I stepped out. Tiles crashed again.
Good evening.
Hershey, just watching you, I can see your frame rate's low.
Yeah, I'm getting like 7.
So could this be Logitune, or could this be something there screwing it up? Because I had a heck of a time with Logitech G Hub, and I'm using now Logitune to change this Brio webcam that I'm using. But I don't know if it's Spectrum at its best, because I've had issues with Spectrum 4 times now. Where
Zoom has a built-in network analyzer tool.
just my screen reader sometimes is funky.
Yeah. This is my personal opinion, and it doesn't express opinions of anyone else. I don't like Logitech, Logitune. I don't like their drivers. I don't buy Logitech stuff anymore.
I want to go away from it, but until I have money for Sony's or something, this is what I got.
I find Microsoft's peripherals work better with my Mac than Logitech stuff does.
From a software point of view, not having a go at anybody directly, but having a go at all of them, the more virtual camera tools you have between your camera and Zoom, the more chance you have of the system slowing down. Because each one's going to interfere in its own separate way. They're probably all going to interfere doing the same things as well. And then if they all then decide to try and throw out different frame weights, it'll get even more complicated. So the more steps you have between your camera and Zoom, and the more little tweaks each of them try to do on the way, the more it's going to slow down everything. And if it can't keep up, then you end up losing resolution and your frame rate dies.
Now, Hershid, too, question for you is, right now, how is your CPU and GPU settings right now on your task manager, on your PC?
Moment. Let me see if I could grab that number for you.
Because it very well could be that you're got a lot of utilization, and that could actually be causing your frame rate issues.
So what happened, to give behind the scenes of what happened. So one Saturday, Friday evening, I took my laptop off, like my computer stand, and put it back. I turned yellow with Logitech G Hub. So it updated somehow, and now it will not show me any camera controls with Logitech G Hub. So I figured, okay, I'll dump that software and I'll go jump over to Logitune. Go ahead and Logitune, everything got set up, anti-flicker, NTSC 60 frames is something, all the numbers there. But I don't know if for fact, I do office hours every morning, for example. So it's the same setup every single day. Nothing else is running except usually Zoom. And that's pretty much what runs on my system. So I understand with the task manager resources and such that, but I'm not understanding if it's a Logitune, Logitech G Hub. I don't like it at all, because as soon as I use it with my screen reader, I'll get BSOD'd, blue screen of death. So I have to turn on narrator to then work with it, or have some person that's sighted and do screen share, ask for remote control, and then change it that way. So trying to figure out what in the world happened. But let me go check Task Manager still.
Yeah, just to rule it out, just to make sure that there isn't something that happens to be, because Windows loves, as Jason knows, loves stealing resources just for free.
Memory 38%.
And okay, so 15% CPU, 38% memory, fine.
Network is showing 0.
Is it actually utilizing your GPU or no?
One moment, I'm just trying to re-listen to every time I'm 13% CPU. No. It's not reading the GPU, but I don't think it is using the GPU.
Okay.
But I could be very wrong.
Yeah, very well could be that it could be a driver issue that's actually
causing
not the proper driver for the Brio that you've got installed right now.
Okay.
Yeah, go ahead, Robert.
It's a Gen 1 of the Brio, by the way. So like the old one from whenever the Note 9 came out.
Hershey, do you have a camera on your laptop itself?
I do.
Have you tried just switching and just checking to see if that behaves in the same way?
Let's get. What about if just for kicks? What about OBS? You think I switch it to OBS real quick and turn on virtual camera there, or you mean go internal laptop camera?
I would do the internal laptop. It's a direct pipe to the operating system and the hardware.
Okay, it's gonna be a bad look, but let me get to that.
The funny thing is that your resolution is really high. It's just your frames that are low, frames per second.
Okay, integrated webcam is on. I'm not sure if I have the slider, if it's showing black or...
It's showing black.
Okay.
Yeah, do you have a privacy slider?
Yeah, let me slide it the other way. Hopefully no up the nose shot, but that's open now.
No, it's gone right up to 26 at my end.
Interesting, and it's supposed to be 28, 30 frames, right? Like, or 25, 30, 30. Yeah, right? That's what we're expecting, 1080p.
But this isn't 1080p, it's 1280 by 720.
Copy.
Yeah, I'm getting between 26 and 28 on you, Hershey. Wave your hands around real quick. Yeah, that's much better.
Yep, 27-ish.
The older Logi drivers tend to work better than the newer ones. They've got less bloat to them. You could still find older drivers on the web.
Okay.
So I would definitely do that. And then the other thing you have to do is check to make sure that the Logi software doesn't automatically run on startup. Something like that. You're using a Windows machine?
Yes, I am. And Logitech being installed will more than likely want to...
run on startup, and then it just sits there sucking up your resources.
Well, if I do get the drivers and such, can you still change the camera control stuff? Like
yes, and then it sticks.
The hue, saturation, yada, yada, yada.
Yes.
Okay.
Depending upon how old of the software you get. So some of the oldest software was autofocus, yes, no, manual focus, pan, tilt, zoom, digitally. Run on startup, and there's like auto white balance, and then you couldn't do like RGB, but they had something like brightness contrast or something really generic on the earliest stuff.
So I'm back on the Brio currently. Don't know if it switched over anything, if that kicked it into gear at all. Maybe?
7 frames per second.
Okay, so it's a software issue. It's not an internet issue.
Yeah, to us, it seems from what Jason is saying, what I'm thinking, I think it's driver related. So what I would do is uninstall all Logitech related to the camera.
Yep.
Do an infamous reboot, because good old Microsoft wants you to do so, to make sure that it's all cleaned up, and then just find that older driver that's sitting in La La Land on the internet, and hopefully from a reliable source. Hopefully Logitech.
How about
But
how about this? I mean, if you guys really want to, because screen shares and everything, we started. David started to show off with the screen share stuff. So thanks, David, for the infamous double, triple, whatever that look. But point being is, I could go uninstall Logitune. I don't mind if everybody on the Zoom Test Kitchen gets to see this, but if anyone wants to do a screen share and then remote control, then I have to turn on narrator, but you all can control my camera to get it back to a decent looking picture if you wanted. Would you guys want to do that?
There's one other thing you have to check, Hershey. Are you Windows 11 24H2?
Yep.
So there's also within the Windows OS, there's some software cooking in there that says like enhanced video image. The name of the label escapes me right now, but that's going in there, and then that can conflict with the Logi driver and then really slow things down.
Copy. Because
you're running 30 frames sometimes, and then you're diving down to 7.
Okay,
and then a few seconds later, you might just to get 24, but you keep doing this dive down to 7.
Yeah, wake up camera.
Yeah, you did that. All you were was just a set of blurs.
And that's
because I'm now receiving you at 7-8 frames a second. So you've definitely got software issues because it's jumping around.
Let me go blow out Logitune, and then I'll go ahead and reinstall a fresh copy of G-Hub, because later on I'm going to be working with Mickey anyway to get the color and everything accurate, but we're on the Zoom Test Kitchen. This is what it's about. We test stuff, so I'll probably go do that.
Go right ahead, and we'll wait for you and come back and report.
All right, thank you all.
Back to you, Mr. Peskin.
Back to Robert.
David, I just wanted you to, Fred has come in. Have a look at the amount of buttons Fred has.
Yeah, that's fake. That's a background. That's a virtual background.
No, but
that's an old desk. That's from 5-6 years ago.
Yeah, but isn't that a real picture that you took, Fred?
Yes, it's a real picture. It's not fake.
It's not fake, Dave.
That's a hockey game I'm working on. See up there in the picture? It's a hockey
It's that space shuttle. He's not allowed to tell you.
He's on the International Space Station.
I was actually on the air when I took that picture. As you can see, the meters are moving.
Yep.
Yeah. For the multiple microphones that are probably hanging in the ceiling, Fred.
Right, and that's just the mix board. That's not the video or anything.
So I was wrong,
What
Fred?
brand of board is that, Fred?
That looks like a Calrec. What is that? An Omega? I think right next to the VU meters. It should say. Oh, it's Sigma. It's a Sigma. Right there, just to the left of the big VU meters, it tells you what it is.
Yeah,
that's the old Bluefin desk, and that thing's got to be 10 years old or more.
But it sounds fantastic.
Oh, it did. They sound way better than the new ones do. I was just uploading some new backgrounds yesterday. So when I get done eating my lunch, that picture will probably change. I'll show you one that I was on recently.
Way cool.
What did I miss? Did I miss anything fun?
We fixed your meters. Well, we know how to fix your meters.
Yeah, I fixed my meters by quitting.
No, it's just going to come back till you fix it the right way.
Don't give up, David. Don't give up.
I followed the instructions that Frank just put in the thing, and there is no power nap feature there on the get info. There is no.
You have to go to options first. Did you go to options?
Options where?
When you do the get info, there's supposed to be an options.
All right.
I don't know. I don't have Sequoia installed in front of me, so I can't look at it.
So I'm going here, and let me
David, your audio trail is really long, so you need to figure out where it's actually getting stuck.
Yeah. Not really. I mean, yeah. Okay. Get info. General. That's it.
There's no options?
There's nothing.
I don't know. Ask Mickey. He'll know.
Mickey knows everything. Let's try Ecamm Beta. Get info. No. Nothing. Oh well.
just for my curiosity, is there any user restrictions per logins on Macs? And Jason knows where I'm going with this, probably on a PC.
So when you are the admin, the super admin of your Mac, when you create an account, you give it different roles with different permissions. So you can give it administrator role or user role, and so those permissions come predefined out of the box. If you're smart enough, you can modify them.
Could it be that David's user account is missing certain privileges?
Don't blame it on David's user account. Why is everyone is so anxious to find that there's something wrong with me or my computer? Maybe it's just the app, since Robert has the same issue.
I don't have the same issue anymore. It's been fixed. That was the whole point.
I hate you. Okay, then you need to send me the terminal command.
I will ask my friend again.
Thank you.
Yeah, share that with us, because this meter is running on Monterey, so it doesn't have that issue. And just moved my meters to a Sequoia computer, and I haven't activated it because of this fear that these meters are gonna ruin my reputation.
That's fair, Hesma. That's absolutely fair. So, Robert, you have gone back to Waves now, correct?
Yes, I've gone back to Waves. I found that
you're also experimenting with the Uline.
Uline, yes. I found that non-technical people find Uline overwhelming. The WLM meters are so intuitive. You look at the number, you look at where you are on the scale, and Bob's your uncle. That's it.
Just need some old-fashioned VU meters.
Well, we got some in Hijack, actually.
Yeah, we do.
But not everyone can read them.
They're too ballistic, though. That's an audio term.
I'm doing a quick search to see if WLM, if there's anything about Sequoia and WLM meters.
I didn't find anything when I searched for it, but they did mention that they have an update. If I decide to pay them for it, they'll send me the update.
I have to pay for it. For the WLM meters or for Audio Hijack?
For WLM meters. You either buy it with a 1 year package of updates, or just mine's expired.
Gotcha.
Anyway, I can share a story what we did at the Mimo Live workshop on Zoom, which is pretty interesting. We've been having these workshops weekly that Alex, oh gosh, I forget his name, the Canadian Alex, in office hours.
That's good enough.
That's it. Good. Okay. The Canadian Alex, not the American Alex. Okay, fair enough. So,
or sometimes known as Alexandria.
Alexandria. Anyway, we've been having these because they're setting up office hours, the second show, the extra hours on Mimo Live to see if they can run it. And one of the things that we've been working on with Oliver and his brother, who is the chief programmer in Mimo Live, is writing scripts. And the scripts are for automation. And what we did, which was really fascinating, is when you joined a Zoom meeting, this script would pull out the names of all of the attendees and automatically populate lower thirds. So it doesn't matter who comes into the meeting, you have a lower third for that person set up straight away, which is really nice. And you also have a position in there's a function there called a switcher, where you can select who you want to just throw onto the screen. And so if you put a 2 up of 2 people and you've got a switcher, you can just select who goes into that second window or the third window or whatever window.
Do you know who the players are, who the guests are going to be, or is it random people?
It can be random people because it takes the names from
Zoom. Yeah.
From Zoom. Yeah.
So Ecamm has the same functionality. Yeah.
So you need to make sure that the people have the names written in properly, and someone doesn't come in with his wife's computer.
Right.
Yep.
Exactly.
Why? Maybe 4 or 5 years ago, Jonas helped me with a variable and trigger in Companion and using H2R graphics. And what he did, it threw the lower thirds for the active speaker. So every time somebody was speaking, it would bring in the lower thirds. And that works quite well as well.
And on the fly, we came up with an issue with the active speaker when you have a 2-up or 3-up, not to duplicate the active speaker if the active speaker is the host and you've pinned them in one of the windows. So this week they made an additional option, but it's in beta at the moment, not to duplicate anyone on the screen, which is really cool.
Yeah, that was a big feature request a while back for Ecamm, which they were able to do. So it looks at the screen, it sees who's on screen, and then it will not pop them in as active speaker if they're already on screen. Yeah, this is thank you, Frank, for sending me all of this stuff that is completely unhelpful since I don't have that button in the app. Sheesh. I appreciate that so much. Hey, I have a Zoom question. That's a very practical Zoom question. So next week I will be on an airplane during the kitchen. And so the question is, how do we get this whole party started when the host can't be here, given that we use a PMI?
Starlink.
You're not going to broadcast live from the airplane, David?
No, because remember the last time I did that, I got to like 3,000 feet and then it cut out. I mean,
you did it from the airport last time.
Right, but I will be on the plane this time, is my point. I mean, can you set, let me actually go over to
David, let me answer your question. You can't have an alternative host for a PMI.
Well, that's kind of my question, actually.
That's what I thought.
Well, no, wait, do you know is the answer no to that?
The answer is no to that. A PMI is your personal, it's for you, not for anyone else.
Yeah.
So the easiest thing would be to do, David, is to have me access, or one of the co-hosts, Ray or myself, set it up before you actually physically leave the building to start the meeting, and then let us in, and then we just stay in.
And then someone pulls a plug out.
Well, no, I'm leaving the meeting. I'm leaving. No,
Oh, you're not going to be around at all on Friday, is what you're saying?
Like I don't know. I don't. It seems to me, boy, you're all gonna like attack me for this, but it seems to me that the best thing for me to do is just to give Mike my login. This is an account
No, you
only
can't.
used for Zoom Test Kitchen.
No, you can't. You can't do that. Zoom will send a challenge code to your email address. You'll have to give me your email address as well.
No, I won't, because I can do it now. They can send the challenge code, and then I can send him the code.
He would need to.
How many hours are you going to be in the air before Zoom Test Kitchen next week, or whenever it is?
Are we really? Oh my God! I take off at 10 a.m.
Eastern.
David, let me give you an easy solution. Set up a normal meeting, schedule it, put Mike onto your license with a different email address than his standard license, make him an alternative host, and you're doing it all in a very legal, professional manner. And you can set it up, Mike can test it, he'll be the host, he'll have everything that he needs to do.
But then how do we share that code with everyone who wants to join us?
Newsletter.
Well, in the newsletter, you just change that one thing in the newsletter.
Okay.
I know it's heartbreaking for you, David, that you're not going to be using your PMI, but
no, I actually don't really care. I just want, I'm okay.
I'm just giving you a solution. It's really up to you.
All right. So let's see here. So I'm logged in now as me. Do you mind if we do this live? Because I've never done an alt host before. Is that okay?
Yeah, but the first thing you need to do is Mike has to give you an email address that you will attach to your license so that he can become an alt host. Because if he's not part of your license group, he can't be an alt host.
See, this is really frustrating to me.
No, it's not frustrating. This is security. This is absolutely spot on.
Really?
Yeah. Yeah. So you go as the admin of your account. And then on the left-hand navigation side, admin, you're going to add users.
All right. Well, hold on. I have to log in as the actual admin.
And you're screen sharing, so what's your password?
No, I know. It's all right. No one can see it.
So that's what it is. 12 dots. 12 dots.
12 dots. Okay. Hold on. All right. So now I got to go down here.
Yeah. Manage users. Or
we can't see anything because your head is in the way, David.
All right. And the blue button, I think, says add users unless Mike's already in there.
So I don't want to give him a
add an email address at the top there. Use comma to separate multiple email addresses. You got to have and Mike, don't give him an email address that you have associated with a paid account. Right. Otherwise you'll lose everything on that paid account.
Well, you'll be invited to join his account.
Right.
Yes.
You can give him a free account and you can still make him an alt host.
Exactly.
You can make him a basic user.
All right, Mike, do you mind giving me an email address?
Private message him.
Drop it in the chat.
Yes.
Yeah, and I'll
in our Zoom chat. Yes.
You're going to get all kinds of spam in about 10 minutes because I'm going to sign you up for everything.
No.
It's okay. It's on the screen.
And I'll stop screen sharing when I put it in. So
okay, but you can set the rest of it up. Mm-hmm.
So then do I change this to unassigned?
Correct.
Okay. All right. So as soon as I get this, I'll pop it in. Hold on a second.
Mike sent it. It says I can see it in the chat.
God. You know what? No, it's
just kidding.
I haven't sent anything yet.
Now you have to sign into this meeting every week with this account.
Wait, David, just to make sure, this is the account that's associated with the YouTube account, is it?
Yes.
Okay.
Oh no. Well, no. Hold on. Sorry. This is the admin account. The Zoom account is part of this Zoom org.
Well, okay.
That's fine.
That should be fine. Because as the admin, you're bringing Mike in as a user on this account. Right. Then you're going to the Zoom Test Kitchen recurring meeting, which if you don't have one, you'll be creating that. And then as the alt host, you'll be bringing Mike, one of your users, into that meeting. Okay. So you as the host that creates the recurring meeting can invite Mike as an alternate host as long as he's in your account.
But it's not going to work.
Even though you're an admin.
You have to be a paid user to be an alt host. Can't use a free account for alt host.
If you're doing a free account, you can make them a co-host, but not an alt host. Can a co-host start a meeting?
No. It needs to be an alt host, a paid account. Sorry, but you had one free one, so you can assign it for the next week and then take it back.
Yeah, that is correct. You can transfer an account.
My login is looking a little better now, isn't it?
Yeah, you can set up an account. You can make him free. You can transfer that account, the license from your account to his account, so he inherits everything.
Right, but I'm just saying.
Then you can.
What if I didn't happen to
transfer
have an
that
extra
back?
account? I mean, that's just.
Well, you don't. You can create a free account. You can build a free account with no license. Then
No,
you can
they just-
assign your license to him for a day. But what you can't do is keep changing it around every day, which is what the naughty people do. But you can do it once or twice, and Zoom will accept it. If you do it multiple times, then Zoom shut you
Frank
down.
just said you have to have a paid account to be an alt host.
Yeah, you're not hearing the rest of what he's saying. He's saying that you would take one of your licenses. Let's say you were going on vacation. You had no intention of using Zoom. You would transfer your paid license to the basic user for a week, and then when you were back from holidays, take your license back.
No, I understand. Okay, are you sending me something, Mike? What's happening here?
And you have one available.
I'm still building an email address. Continue.
Oh, you're building a new email address. That's
While you guys are having this riveting demonstration, a lot of people have this complaint that Zoom should allow people from different organizations to be alt hosts. Why hasn't Zoom made this a possibility? Like, your org has probably got an org ID somewhere in Zoom's server database. Your user has a user ID. Why, if I know your email address, which is probably associated with your org ID and your user ID, and they can verify whether or not you're a paid user, why can't Zoom facilitate people? Because imagine having a bunch of people from around the world who belong to an organization and they want someone to be an alt host even though they're not on the same license. Why can't Zoom allow that? Like, that seems very trivial to me. Not being a programmer, of course, but...
And they've actually done this in Zoom events, where you can get other people to start something. You can allocate roles. Maybe that's the way you should do it, David. Set up Zoom test kitchen in Zoom sessions.
We talked about that.
I know we did. I'm just saying.
Can't I?
We could just run it off another account as a special just for 1 week.
Wait, what if instead I just clicked allow participants to join anytime?
Then it will expire after 40 minutes because we are free users in your world.
No, that's not the way it works, John. This will allow anyone to start the meeting and join, and there'll be no host until the host joins. Okay? They can join the meeting, but they won't be able to do anything. But
okay.
But you can't do anything. You have no power.
Gotcha.
Sorry,
I just want to say what Frank said. I'm sorry. This just feels silly. Like, we are having to jump through so many hoops.
Because David uses his PMI for a really important meeting.
I'll schedule a meeting. I'm happy to schedule a meeting. It's not a problem. But even if I schedule a meeting, I can't have anyone else start it. And I just happen to have one paid license available. But if you're a pro user, you definitely don't have a paid license available.
You could give David the host key.
I can give Mike the host key.
All right. Yes, you are correct. Sorry.
So wait a second. So I click allow participants to join anytime, and then I just give him the host key. Right?
I don't know if it works in
PMIs. Host, but yeah, I don't know if it works in PMIs.
No, we're not doing PMI. We're going to schedule this.
Then in theory, if you allow any user to join the meeting and they have a host key, then let me see. I'm just missing the step once you're in a meeting, how you claim the host key. Let's see if I can remember how to do that.
What is a host key?
So you find the host key in your profile.
Where you're screen sharing.
Have you ever watched the Star Trek movie where Spock takes over the console of the other ship? It's the secret code. It's your secret PIN for your meeting, for your user ID.
So if you go to your profile, and I'm not going to show it, but it's right here. You just scroll down under meeting, and your host keys. You can see it by clicking on that guy.
And for anyone out there, if you ever use your host key and give it to someone, I recommend after the meeting, change it to some new host key. It's like giving your PIN for your bank card to someone. You better trust them.
Sorry, David, what did you say a host key was?
So it's if you go into profile and you scroll down, it's under in the meeting section, right there. And if you give this to someone, they can claim host of your meeting.
How does that happen? I've never seen that happen where
I can't find that button. Yeah.
Where I ask for host and I'm told to put in the host key. I've never seen that happen.
All right, well, let's do it.
Well, maybe because I'm trying to find it now and I can't find it in this meeting, but maybe that's because it's PMI.
Is it PMI?
But normally there is, I just can't remember where, if it's part of the invite button or if it's part of the meeting info button, but somewhere there's a reclaim host key or enter host key. I forget what the label says. I've seen it and done it, but it's been a long time.
Yeah, but reclaim host key is when you've given someone the host. You as the
click
host
on participants. If there's no host, and then once you click on participants, there's a button that says claim host. Then there's a window that opens up, says enter the host key to claim host.
Where's that claim host button?
In the participants panel.
Yeah.
Yeah, but Frank said that it only appears if there's no host in the meeting.
Right. Right now, as a host, I have a button that says reclaim host. I don't need to put a key in because this is my meeting. But yes, it would be under more, I think. But let's actually do this. So hold on. So I'm going to.
It's very difficult to unhost, David, because when you leave, Zoom will try and pass the host on to somebody else automatically.
Well, no, I'm not going to leave. Hold on. We're going to spin up another meeting or something.
And I don't have a button to claim the host. Like if I find me in the participants panel and the 3 dots, it's not there. If I scroll down to the bottom, I have invite and mute.
All right, so I'm going to I'm going to schedule a meeting.
And this is going to be a meeting where anyone can join. Is that the idea? So there's no host. Okay.
So let's see. Test meeting, and we're going to do it for. We'll just do it for 5 o'clock. Doesn't matter. It's not a recurring meeting. We'll just generate auto. Actually, I'm curious. No, you know what? I'm going to test this. I'm going to leave it as a PMI. I'm going to say allow participants to join at any time. Save. Now, I'm going to, so now that meeting is set up. So now, Mike, I'm going to send you privately my host key. I'm sorry, Mike, actually, are you able to join another Zoom meeting somehow?
From another PC
or a phone,
or
something like that?
Which type of account? Because I've been busy. I've set up the email address that you were wanting, so I did that.
Just any Zoom. Are you able to just join any a meeting to test to see if you can claim host?
I can do it, David, if you need to.
Okay, yeah. I've got another.
Robert, you can do it.
Yeah.
Hold on, we got Robert. That's all right.
Just give me the credentials.
Yep. Okay. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to send you Robert. I'm just going to give you the So the first number is the meeting ID, and the second number is not that. Hold on a second. The second number is, let me turn this off for a moment. And the second number is my host key. So the first number is the meeting ID. The second number is the host key. So here's this test meeting. So one can see, I'm showing it, sorry. So here's this test meeting that I just set up. You can see the meeting ID there.
You know what, David? It says because it's a PMI, it's waiting for the host to start the meeting.
Oh, interesting. Okay.
Yeah, but did you definitely tick that box that?
I definitely did, but that's okay. Let me change it from a PMI to a generated one, and I'll give you this ID instead. So try this meeting ID. Let me save this real quick. Okay. So let's see if that works now.
Okay, stand by.
That's interesting that you don't get any sort of notification that you can't do this via PMI.
Well, the idea behind a PMI is like it's your office, and then the idea behind a meeting is it's the stage or it's a conference room.
Right.
So you wouldn't just give people the keys to go into your office anytime. That's kind of the idea behind it. And I'm wondering how waiting room affects all this too. So
I was thinking about that also, right? Because I do have waiting room checked. Yeah. If worst case scenario, you could turn waiting room off and then he could turn it back on once he claims host.
you have to have two pieces of security, right? Either a passcode or waiting room. It's like that's the bare minimum.
Yeah.
Okay, I know what this on this machine. I need to sign into the Zoom account. I wasn't signed in because I've got the same message again. So it won't allow me to enter that meeting if I don't have a Zoom account. In other words, it doesn't know who I am.
So do you have a Zoom account you can log into or no?
Yes, I do. I just need to do it. Just give me a second.
Okay. So wait, so I'm going to switch it back to the PMI because I really want to see if that works.
Well, start it with this one first, and then we can go and backwards test it to PMI.
Okay. Has anyone gotten Chat GPT, what's it called yet? The new agent that they just released? I keep refreshing looking for it. I don't have it yet.
Can you use a bot to start your meeting?
Can you use a bot to start your meeting? I don't know.
So Simon has set up with Zoom OSC in a small little terminal command. That sometimes brings our meters in into the launches the meeting.
That would be convenient.
You may want to talk to Simon Ray.
Yeah.
All right. Well, we're waiting for that email account to set up, David.
Okay. So
and
let
I
me
put that in chat. So
right.
If you ever want to add me in temporarily, if this doesn't work.
Chat? Where'd you put it?
Zoom chat, my email address that I just said.
I don't see your email. I don't see a message from you.
Oh, here, I'll do it direct. There you go.
Oh, there. Sorry, I see it now. I'll spam aloud. Okay. So while he's doing that, I'll come over here and I'll go to manage users. And I'm going to add a user. Boom, we'll do that. We don't need that. That's all. Add. Okay, so now let's go over here. The other problem is how do we get this to stream to our YouTube channel?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying, that we need to have, when we set up the meeting, we need to have it on your license so that it sees that it's the meeting has to be on your license, that you have the ZDK, and that's associated with the YouTube channel.
Right. This is gonna be the 25th, 7/25/2025. Okay, 25th, 3 o'clock. How long are you planning on going next week, Mike? How many hours?
Oh, it might be a marathon. You never know. We'll see.
I'll leave it as one. All right. Now this also gives me the chance to use the PMI.
Yeah, don't.
No.
I'm still getting the same message, waiting for host to start the meeting, David.
I don't understand that at all then. Okay. So generate automatically.
And then you either have to turn off waiting room and turn on passcode.
Well, no, we'll just use waiting room. That's fine.
Well, but people can't join if they go to the waiting room.
No, but I'm have him as an alt host.
Not yet.
No, but I'm going to. So where do I add him as an alt host?
Oh, options.
Okay. And it's Mike. Well, why is that not coming up? Mike Latta Zoom. See you in a moment. All right. Well, I hope that worked. I mean, it should have found him, shouldn't it have?
I wouldn't worry about it. If you hit save and it doesn't see the account, it'll complain. Yeah.
Unable to sign
as alt host
because.
So you haven't made him a member of your account yet.
Say again.
You haven't made him a member of your account yet.
You can't be a member. You can't be an alt host if it's not a paid license.
It is a paid license. I just signed it to my paid license.
All right.
Just double check that you gave him a paid license, and it might not have been enough time elapsed yet for everything to register.
Yeah, but just a minute. Did Mike? Did you get an email from Zoom, and did you accept it? You have. Okay, he has accepted
just now. Just now, I got that. Yeah. So
Okay.
now I'm now activate your account.
There it is, pending. Refresh the screen.
Order
David.
of operations.
Yep.
Complete.
And there he's gone. Okay. And there he is. So now, meetings. I guess I have to start over again. Zoom test kitchen. We'll make this 25th at 3 p.m. for 2 hours. And generate automatically. Waiting room. On
options.
Yeah, options. And Mike. There he is.
We can see that, David.
You can see what? The email address?
Yep.
Yeah, what you're typing on the screen.
He's going to get lots of spam anyway.
Is that checkbox allow alt host to add polls? Okay, that's fine. Yeah.
Okay.
Shazam.
So now,
Mike
send him
should,
that invite link.
No. Mike should get an email now that he's been made an alt host, and he should get all the details for that meeting in the email.
Okay.
And Mike, it might even show up in your Zoom Workplace app in the little calendar schedule, the blue button that says schedule, and then you scroll to next week, and it might be one of those in your list on the Workplace app. Oh wait, if the Workplace app is signed into the same email address that just got alt host to this meeting.
Right, which I have not.
Right, because that is what you use to join this meeting.
Right. Right now, I'm just going in through the browser right now.
all right. So I just put in our chat the link for next week. And I'll also actually put that, and I'll put it in the email also. But
Just FYI, when I clicked on that link, it says join new meeting. Do I want to leave and join the new one? I'm going to obviously say no because it's not till next week.
Right. Okay. So Mike, it's all you, my friend. I think you're going to have trouble streaming to YouTube because you won't be able to log into YouTube.
Did you set up now when you put in the RTMP information in as an admin
No, so I don't even do that. I just go to stream. I mean, I've been using the app, but you would just go to.
Okay, well, I do have access to the YouTube channel. So is that meaning I need to get my own stream key then, is what you're telling me?
Well, yeah, you could just you could do that. Yeah, you could set up, or you could just if you have access to that channel, then you should just be able to click on go live on YouTube, and you don't even need the stream key. It'll just go. I never schedule the stream. It just pops up. So you don't even need to do that. All right. Well, I'm officially handing this off to Mike because I have to go.
And so we don't see it for another 2 weeks now?
Safe travels.
It's just going to be terrible. I do want to say, again, I'm not complaining. This just feels as Frank was saying, this feels far more complicated than it needs to be to just allow someone else to start your meeting for you.
I don't complain about the complexity as much as you can't do it if someone's not part of your organization. That's the part that bothers me.
Yep. Yep. Mike, we'll connect during the week. I wasn't dumping this on you just now, but
I just wanted to say before you
go, Tony.
I just wanted to say before you left, David, that there are at least 3 people that can start conversation with Tony Mobley. So it should be okay.
Oh, okay. I'd be curious to hear how you're doing that. Is it like on a business account through an alt host, or?
It's called a I can't think of the name of it, but it's not a regular account. It's called.
Hey, Tony, FYI, you might want to check your Zoom audio settings and see if you have automatic gain set up. When you first came in, you were very loud, and then as you kept talking, the system brought you down. So I'm guessing that checkbox is checked currently.
It's probably an issue of me moving my microphone around. How do I sound right now?
You sound fine, but I'm just saying when you first started talking, you were pinning the meters and you were exceedingly loud to everybody.
Okay. All right, guys. Have a great weekend.
Hey.
See you, Tony. David, safe travels, and
thanks.
Yeah.
I'll see you guys soon.
Watch us.
I'll see you on the E-Family channel there.
You got it. And Jan, reach out. I'm happy to sit with you anytime this week.
Thanks, buddy. I'm going to Zion right now. I'm on my way to Zion. So when I get back.
All right, you got it.
All right.
So watch us on YouTube, David. Watch us on YouTube.
Okay, so what did I miss as I was building accounts and all that fun stuff? No, I'm kidding. I was concentrating, but I was listening and all that fun stuff. So we tried a host key, didn't work on PMI, correct? Just to recap for everybody on YouTube.
Correct.
Okay, so PMI host key, bad idea. Host key idea for free account, non-PMI would work. Is that the consensus?
No, it don't work for a free account. You need to have an alternative host on David's license, on David's account.
Okay.
And that's what you have at the moment. And I've logged into that meeting and it's telling me that I'm waiting for the host to start that meeting.
Right. Okay. So it is a legit meeting for next week. So that's good. I'll work out the bugs during the week with David to make sure that I've got all the criteria and such ready for YouTube as well, to make sure that it's fairly flawless next week. And we'll see. It is the Zoom test kitchen after all. We might blow things up like crazy next week. And everybody will go, but I can't log into the meeting. So I'll make sure that David has this information in the newsletter. So if you're not signed up to our newsletter, do make sure that you do. And I'll put a link in the YouTube chat shortly to get you access to the Zoom Test Kitchen website. And yes, David probably showed off my email address. And of course, for all my spammers out there that have joined us within the last couple of weeks, enjoy. But that email will be, barely used.
Mike, can I just make a suggestion? Maybe you want to send out to us a meeting invite, set it up in your own personal account. If you have access to the YouTube account, you can stream there anyway, so there's no big deal.
Oh, yeah. If worse comes to worse and everything totally falls apart, I will try to get at least a few panelists with me, and we'll try to make sure we at least semi go live on YouTube. And you never know, we might actually be doing RTMP from, who knows where, from what knows cloud. So we'll see. So Fred, you're promising a different picture. Is this the different picture that's in the background of the CalReg?
Yeah, look at that monster. 144 faders on the surface.
And for all you audio guys out there, I know you're just going, you're pulling, I know what you're pulling. You're pulling
that's the
Homer Simpson.
That's the Apollo.
You're drooling as if you're looking at, Homer Simpson trying to eat a donut. You're drooling right now on how many faders.
That's right. That's the biggest test they make. That's the Apollo. 144 faders on the surface.
And Dante,
and it's 12 layers deep. So it's 144 times 12, and each of those faders can have up to 5. Actually, that console probably does 7-1 or 9-1 or whatever. So each fader could have, 13 microphones attached to it. So, the thing, it's just massively insane.
Right.
What do you use that for, Fred?
That was not my truck. I was a guest at a UFL game for Fox. So that's the truck that I walked into to do a football game for Fox. That's somebody else's setup. That's their deal. But
and
how do you get to know? Sorry, Fred. How do you get to know the config if someone else has set it up?
Well, that's what I did the first entire day, was just did a reverse interrogate at every fader to figure out where it was going, and I wrote it all down so that when it came time to start testing stuff, I knew where it was all routed. But yeah, it took me 8 solid hours to go through each one of those faders and figure out what it was doing. So yeah, it's hard when you walk in on somebody else's show. If I had set the show up, obviously I would know where everything was, but yeah, this was a one-off. The guy who set it up did a great job. It was a fun show. I hope we get to do it again someday. But yeah, that was probably the 6th time in my career I'd mixed on that desk. It's a behemoth.
And I'm also seeing Dante too, Fred.
Oh yeah.
For everybody that's not seeing that's that screen on the very, very left there on the bottom. That's the actual Dante software.
Yes.
The Matrix.
That thing is crazy, Fred.
It's insane. Yeah, it's really insane.
And take into consideration too, Jason, this is in a truck.
Oh yeah, that part doesn't surprise me, and especially with the layering of faders, because the real estate is precious in a truck. So the fact that you can layer faders in a digital console, now I'm dating myself. Back in the days of the SSL desks that were analog, there was no layering of faders back then.
Yeah, well, almost all the desks didn't have any layering in analog. But yeah, this thing is it's kind of scary to sit down behind because it's very daunting. But once you understand one of those strips, they're all exactly the same. I mean, that's the thing about an audio board. Everybody walks up and they're kind of intimidated. They go, "Wow, how do you know how to run that?" And I go, "All you got to do is know how to run one. All the rest of them are just copies."
One in, one group, and one out.
That's it.
And all of your patching is digital, right? You probably don't have the analog patch base either.
No,
So
no, on the back behind where this picture is, there's patch base.
Yeah, you probably still have a mixture, Jason, of both. You'd have half and half. Fred, what do you think?
Yeah, it's probably, I don't know, in that truck there was probably 96 analog inputs and God knows how many Dante inputs and God knows how many Matty inputs and God knows how many SDI, D-embed inputs. Yeah, it just gets crazy really fast.
But Fred, for this specific event, how many channels were you actually managing?
On that bottom layer there, so from the left side over where that Dante screen is, to see where my writing kind of stops, there's some red writing kind of in the middle.
Yep.
And then it goes to the right one more. All of those faders were faders I was touching during the show. All the rest of those faders were preset, doing something else. But, so let's see, so that's 8, 16, 24, 32, 48, probably 56 of those faders out of the 144.
Are you responsible for comms too, or does somebody else take care of that?
On that particular show, well, comms, yes. There's two different kinds of comms. There's the comms for the crew, but on the UFL, we actually provide all the comms for the coaches and the...
Yeah. I just meant for the production people.
Yeah, no, for the production people, yeah. That, let's see, where is my comms panel? In this truck, it's the one just up and to the right of the left set of speakers. There's actually two. There's a primary and then an expansion panel above it. But yes, those I have to load the Atom system with that file, and then there's all the different channels for all the people on the broadcast. And this is kind of a unique deal because it's not an on-site production. It's still a Remy. So yeah, it's definitely not as much fun as it used to be. When everybody would show up and we were all in the truck, and we were doing the show and then sending it out, everybody was there. It was more fun for me because everything happened kind of in real time. Now you have to deal with all these latencies because you're sending signals across the country and you're hearing voices that are across the country, and so there's always this possibility of whip pans or lip sync problems or whatever, because stuff it's all just traveling discreetly across the internet somewhere.
So Fred, let me ask you, when it comes to, is this a normal size for the Fox truck? Or is this, I know a lot of them,
no,
again,
this is definitely this is an A truck. This is definitely an A show truck. It's a Game Creek. I don't even remember what the name of the truck was. It's a Game Creek truck, but this is people who do A level shows. My normal desk usually is a 56 fader Artemis or a Bemis in one of their lower lines. But basically, the layout's the same. The look's the same. This one's obviously got a separate row of faders, so there's 96 faders on the bottom, and then there's 96 short throw faders there in the middle. Normally, most desks don't have that second set of faders. You would have to go to a layer to get to something like that. And then everything on this side also has an A and a B. So not only does it have sections of layers, you have an A and a B input, and then each input has 2 inputs. So it's just, like say you have say you had a primary mic, on input 1, and you put a backup mic on input 2, so it's on the same fader. So if you have a mic fail, you just switch inputs and everything stays the same. You don't have to go to another fader or anything. Or you have, and then when you go to it, you have a separate EQ. Also, you got an AEQ and a BEQ. So they've thought of everything. That's why it's kind of an industry standard desk in a lot of trucks. But yeah, it's really hard to go in and set one of these up in 6 hours and go on the air. It's in this particular show. There's no way. There's a setup day. But most of the things that I am involved in, I show up 6 hours before air and got to make it go.
Did I hear you correctly? You said this was a REMI type setup, so you had no physical equipment attached to that desk?
No. I'm the preamp. I am sending stuff to Los Angeles. So wherever this truck is parked in the United States, I am the head end. So I'm sending all the stuff to LA, and they're putting the show together back in LA.
Yeah, Fred is God when it comes to audio. Then leaving the truck.
Yeah,
So,
I mean, really, realistically, the only thing that I'm mixing is for the local talent, so they have something to listen to in real time. Because you couldn't bring the talent mics back from Los Angeles. There's just not enough light speed to do that. It would be way too latent. So realistically, in this particular situation, I am there mixing for the talent. Nobody else gets to hear what I'm doing. So it's kind of a drag. But it is what it is. It's kind of our post-COVID world of how they like to do. Some entities do it this way. I mean, there's still people who do full trucks on site, but it seems like this seems to be the norm since the post-COVID world.
Fred, have you worked in an audio-only truck?
No. I don't get to do music.
Okay.
Usually, audio-only trucks are music trucks.
Yeah. Which, again, some of our dealers up here in Canada actually own the audio-only trucks, and they are basically walking. Well, they're mobile recording studios is what they are.
Right. Exactly.
Just for everybody on YouTube, basically the scenario there would be that whatever audio is in for the concert in the venue itself, all the actual feeds, normally Dante, not necessarily Dante. Again, it could be a combination like Fred is talking about, coming back to the actual audio only truck, and then the audio only mix will be done by the audio only truck, and then it'll be fed back to the broadcast truck. And from there, it'll be brought back to us watching on television. That is usually more the concert setup. In Fred's scenario, this is more, you're probably doing a lot of crowd mics, Fred, in this, because this was football, right?
This was football. Yeah, I believe there was only it's maybe 6 crowd mics, maybe. Most of them are camera mics, parabs, player mics, coaches mics, referee mics, umpire mics. And the UFL they let everybody have a microphone.
Right, players too, right?
Yes.
Yeah. So if now again, will Fred bring the actual audio live? Not necessarily, but again, it's coming back to tape anyways, as we would call it back in the day, for them to actually use for replays if they wanted to hear a conversation that was going on between the quarterback and somebody, let's say. That's really cool, Fred.
It is. It's fun. It's fun, but it's very complicated.
It can be. Yes. Again, everybody that might be watching us on YouTube might be intimidated to sit behind one of those things. But when you got it, you got it. And that's exactly what Fred is talking about, is that, again, it'll take for you to just take literally one vertical strip, which is one actual channel. If you figure it out from top to bottom, all the capabilities of that one channel, you're just duplicating that right across the whole board, like Fred was saying.
Fred, can I just question? Could you just walk us through the process if you suddenly got information that there is noise coming back, and you didn't know which channel it was on? What would you do?
Well, Robert, I think it'd be more fair to Fred to say what kind of noise.
Yeah, I mean, what it would if it's a noise that if it's a noise in a microphone, I would hear it obviously because I'm the first point of contact. If it's something that's offline that's going down, then somebody would say something to me on the intercom, and I would then go solo that channel or try to figure it out.
Okay, but if it's noise coming from a microphone, do you pan through the channels to identify it, or what do you do?
Yeah, I would just solo it, or I would see it on a meter. Usually, if something's breaking up, you'll just see the meter just go nuclear, and I'm constantly scanning the thing looking for that sort of stuff. Anything that's overmodulating or a little hot, I would just reach over and solo it and go, oh, what's going on there? And then I'd have to call one of my A2s, say, hey, I've lost this mic, or I've lost this, or something is causing this issue. So I would just mute it so that if I happen to open that fader because it's in my normal range of doing things, I would just mute it so that I could open the fader and it wouldn't go to air.
I was just getting hummed the whole time you were talking about some noise.
Yeah, it's because my air conditioner just turned on.
Ah.
So that, Robert, is that one of the questions?
I'm on a webcam. I'm not on a headset or a microphone.
Yeah, yeah.
No, that wasn't the reason I was asking. I was really curious because when we do interpretation, we have one sort of coordinator that's listening to 4 channels, and that person can usually identify if something's wrong with any language channel. But then you can listen to up to 4 or 5 at the same time, but you can't listen to 50. It just would be noise. I was curious.
Yeah. My world is
That's a classical. That's a classical phone ringing.
A true audio guy with the classic audio ring of a regular phone. But yeah, so Robert, you were saying about that. So basically, just as Fred's taking that phone call quickly, the scenario that I would do would be, as Fred was saying, soloing and unsoloing channels, right? So again, it's up to your audio person to actually be able to understand what the solo capabilities of the audio mixer that you're using, A, and then B, how many he can actually, or he or she can have an attention span of understanding that, okay, yeah, those 4 sound fine. Let me do these 4. Okay, listen to them for a little bit. Then, okay, yeah, oh, I'm hearing something. Then all of a sudden, then it's a process of elimination out of those 4, who is actually having because again, a lot of it too can be that you having the infamous, in your case, would be 50 cycle hum or 60 cycle hum in our North American scenario too, where audio is too close to a power line, power cable of some sort, and all of a sudden you get in a bit of a bzz, bzz, bzz type of scenario. That's why I was saying, to be nice to Fred, there's a lot of different noises that audio can make. So there's a lot of different ways that he could eliminate them in different scenarios. It could be all of a sudden he has to EQ that frequency out, and because it's not going to be fixed in one way or another quick enough. So then he'll have to actually drop that frequency, and hopefully it doesn't affect the person's voice, in your case for translation. And there's many other different methods too, depending on the noise, right?
What I understood from Fred was that he has a visual on the meters. If he sees any of the meters going into the red or behaving normally, then that's one sign. And the other one is when he gets feedback from the people who are actually listening and doing something with the channel feed. Yeah, so that's why I understood.
Right, and again. Yeah, and again, of course, depending on where Fred is too, is that, don't forget, Fred is also doing what we would call the master mix, right? So the master audio going back to Fox in this case. he would be actually mixing that as well. So he might be hearing something in there too that nobody else is hearing, but it might be just back at his end that now he has to now search and start, solo on solo, solo on solo. Yes, he has to do each individual channel as he goes along to find it, because solo will pop it out more out of his mix, because he'll probably just have, and again, as you saw with Fred's picture too, and I'll put that up quickly. Oh, and Fred's back. And I'm going to spotlight Fred here momentarily too, because to show that he's actually got in-room speakers where they are here too, right? So thanks, Fred. So explain. So he's got the in-room speakers here too, that he might be sending the audio to there, but he also might be wearing, as we would say in the business too, cans. So he could actually solo things too, where he would have the master mix coming. Again, with them having all the speakers there like that, that probably was for surround sound related stuff too. So again, there's all
actually, I can kind of hear you. I'm on the phone at the same time, but the inside speakers are the solo speakers. So
okay.
I don't put on headphones.
Oh, okay, there you go. So again, it really depends on the actual operator, right? How they would want to do things, right? So again, and the recording truck is an example that usually does the Grammys as an example. They will actually have a full surround sound in the truck, where they've actually got the speakers behind, speakers beside, speakers in front, to make sure that they are mixing properly. So you would actually have the proper surround sound capabilities being sent back to broadcast. Will you necessarily get that sent back to home? That's up to the television channel and the television broadcaster at that particular point. But chances are, if you actually did get a raw feed of the Grammys, as an example, one of the largest music events in the States, when they do their Grammy Awards, 9 times out of 10, that's being sent back in surround sound.
So what are those buttons above the Dante matrix on the screen?
They look like they are an additional, just some sort of patch panel of sorts. That actually might be more, and I don't know, Fred, if you're hearing me, I'm going to guess and say maybe those are MADI related. Those could be a MADI patch panel of some sort. I'm not 100% sure.
I'm sorry, I just caught the end of it. What are you talking about there, Michael?
Fred, the patch panel above the patches above the Dante.
That's a router. That's not patches. That's a Evert's router panels. Anyway, I'm on a phone call. I'll be back with you guys soon.
Okay. Yeah. So
that's like David Paskin Paradise, there, isn't it?
Yeah. So router city. So basically, again, we're used to video routers or video. If you have a Blackmagic, one in, many in to many out. That's basically the audio equivalent of being able to route this audio here. I might need it in fader 1 and fader 10 as an example. So I can now route it to X and Y. So it gives me one in, but multiple outs too. So you could just see how the faders themselves could just grow exponentially as well, because of the fact of now having a one in and many out potential scenario too, where you need this in the certain faders, or you need it routed from here to there to there to here. Cool. Let me just double check. Oh, Ronnie was making love your speakers, Fred. So Fred, if you're listening, Ronnie's loving the speakers that you have in the picture, which are officially, to be fair to Fred, he doesn't own those speakers, but they are nice speakers. Yes, I can vouch that
I don't own them. That's definitely in the truck.
Yeah, absolutely. But yeah. And what else is it? And Ronnie's actually asking, and Robert's going to laugh at this one, why is Zoom Test Kitchen a PMI meeting? Well,
that's like a taboo question. You're not allowed to ask that question.
That would be semi-correct. That is the way that David set it up. David, which you might have heard Ronnie earlier, is very much into PMI meetings. He does not, as you might have seen earlier in the show, I didn't catch when you actually posted this, Ronnie. I'm sorry about that. But if you caught us earlier going through the exercise of setting up next week's meeting, which I'm crossing my fingers everything will come to air properly. When I speak to David this week, that again, this will be the first one in a long time since Jeff had the channel that we have now gone back to it being a generated meeting. I don't know. I didn't catch Robert. Maybe did you catch this? Did he happen to do that as a reoccurring or no?
The one for you next week?
Yeah.
No, he didn't.
Okay. So officially, it's a one-off for next week. The meeting ID will be X, and should we continue to use it generated automatically and reoccurring, then we will be updating that in the newsletter as well. And Rodney, make sure you're on the newsletter, and you will, if you're available with us again, as you've shown up many times, of course, join us on the panel. Cool. So Hershey Bar, talk to us.
What does the color look like? Windows. What are you guys doing, Microsoft? Sorry. Here we are again. I don't know what the video quality looks like. It might have gone back to my old settings, and it might just be all too good.
It actually doesn't look. I'm not seeing it stuttering, even just by looking at your mouth moving. So I'm already thinking it's better already.
It's 1080p and 30 frames per second.
Logitech G Hub. I don't know. Software sucks. Sorry, but here we are.
Yes, sir. I can confirm 1080p 30, sir.
Okay, so the settings stuck. Color looks rich, saturation and all that stuff with the blue. Everything looking likable.
Yes, Robert is nodding. So
I'm nodding. I was just about to say, actually, if you've got anything red, if you can just show something that's really red, that would give the final sort of response to.
I have something red handy. Okay, here comes something red. I think this is red. Is it red? Yeah.
It's upside down. Okay.
So that should be red, I think, and then let's just.
Looks good to me.
It looks good to me.
Okay, and then I don't know if this bag is red. Is this red? Maybe
oh yeah, that's red.
Yeah, that's red for sure. Mm-hmm.
Okay, so my colors went back to normal, and Mickey doesn't have to do anything. Good.
So what was the?
I think you overdid it there. Mickey will find something to do because he sees this world through a different lens than we do.
This is actually Mickey's working. To let you know, even the lighting is Tlaloc and Mickey. So I have orange on the ceiling light. I have blue on the back walls. Front lights are set to 4100 Kelvin. My camera is set to 4400 Kelvin, and then all the little adjustments and tweaking and stuff that we did. But one bad software made it, or hiccup update, whatever that was, made me auto expose, auto balance. So I was looking yellow, like my blinds and stuff over there looked orange, and a blue shirt turned orange. Or yellow.
Yeah, you definitely have a light blue shirt on currently.
Right now I have like a royally blue, lightish blue, but everything would change color to yellow, or even like I had a blue striped shirt, and what was happening?
Aren't drivers wonderful? They're just
Windows,
absolutely hilarious.
Microsoft just lost their ways. I don't know what else to say. I mean,
yes.
That's my opinion, but
yes. Jason's not here with us anymore. Thank you, Jason, for joining us. But Jason would be nodding. Absolutely.
We need to fix what we need to fix and stop adding, nonsense to the table and make it stable. We're not stable anymore with Microsoft, and that's what really just annoys me.
Yes.
Because Macs have become more stable. I mean, of course, but don't have a Mac. It's just like, hey, you could do everything. You got to get a Mimo Live, but you need a Mac. Hey, only thing we're good for is vMix, and then you're like, well, do you have an NVIDIA card? Jeez.
Right.
I never win.
Yeah, right. No, I'm right. Yes. Now I have had some luck on AMD. But no guarantees, right? Because again,
there you go. Like,
I know,
but it's like
again, the reason being is that the owner/programmer built vMix based off of the NVIDIA GPU.
Right.
So if you have other GPUs that work,
no good.
And again, I know you're not necessarily seeing me do the hand quotations, but my official answer is you're lucky. Now again, they've gotten a lot better on the Intel side,
how about
but
this,
there's still AMD.
Why do business laptops still use like the NVIDIA whatever the heck, NVIDIA 150X or something? Like, why are you putting trash inside of these? I mean, I get it; it's for business, but
right,
at least throw RTX in there, so that way, like this meeting, this could be business, and we all look decent.
Good question. My official answer is when it comes to no, it's if you're talking about the major manufacturers, let's stick with Dell, Lenovo, and HP.
Right, Latitude, ThinkPad, and whatever they call their business line. Let's just say Pro.
Right. Yeah. So we'll stick with those. If those are not geared, like vMix utilizes more gamer laptops, right? Even when they will do an NAB and they're flying in from Australia,
right?
They will usually go shopping, quote unquote, at the local place in Las Vegas, and they will find the quote unquote best gaming laptop that has NVIDIA X. And I will change that just for Frank's sake and say NVIDIA Z.
Have you tried the Have you tried the Mini Sphere or Mini Forum, the Mini MSO1? I think it's called. Have you ever heard of it?
And well, the Minis Forum. See, it's interesting. I go back many years with Minis Forum.
Okay.
Before Minis Forum was in the mini PC market. They were in the digital signage and set-top box market.
Oh, okay. Interesting.
So they were into, baking IPTV type boxes for insert television companies around the world. And they are also known for their itty bitty little stick PCs that have the HDMI out of them that you can put right into an HDMI port, and now you got a PC on the back of a monitor. Those again were more utilized again because of so they have a lot of experience with Android,
right?
Because again, Android TV and Android, but again, they've now expanded from their knowledge, so they know how to make boards, right? So they know how to make the boards. They already know the chips. They already have worked with ARM chips and et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. So for them to grow into the Minis form that they are now, it's not much of a brainer for their mini PC line that they're coming up with, because they've already got the brains of what the set-top box market wanted, and as well as the digital signage market wanted, because that's where their main focus was for many years.
Do you feel like what's the new PCs? They're not Intel, ARM PCs. What do they call them on the Windows side?
You're talking about the ones that have the AI capabilities?
The chip, yeah, like they have the new chip now. Well, AI is already capable. It has an AI chip on it, but they call it.
It has the NPU based in.
Yeah, it's an ARM-based system basically, but they pop Windows on ARM-based Windows.
Right, and we're talking Snapdragon. Is that it?
Snapdragon, that's the one.
Okay,
so,
yeah. Go ahead.
Our downfalls are this, right? So with any PC side, to hit the cores, you need at least 6 cores, above 4 cores processor for Zoom. Otherwise, Zoom doesn't like it. So with Mac Minis and M series, it's built on Mac. So Zoom is probably built for Macs. Period. I mean, many people want to argue that, but probably is true. On the Intel side, it's the fact that you have, even if you got those like a stick on PC and stuff, you don't always hit that 1080p, or you don't always hit your resolutions, and there's something that's going to hold you back. So Windows has just too many limitations these days because no one's stable. That's, bottom line.
Right.
There's another thing, if I can just jump in. I learned this the hard way. I was just looking at we use gaming laptops. These are Lenovo gaming laptops that we use, and the reason,
like the Legions or something.
Yeah, Legions.
Okay.
And the reason we bought them was that they have 2 USB controller chipsets inside them. And that was something that I learned the hard way, because when you're connecting a USB camera and a USB external audio card, a sound card, you really load up that USB controller if you only have one. And we were really having issues, and serious issues. And I didn't understand that. It was here in the Zoom test kitchen, I think it was Pete who mentioned, listen, just check how many controllers you have, USB controllers. Because when you have one controller, that controller is usually servicing the webcam, in that it's servicing the mics that are local as well. And then you add additional stuff, they're just getting overloaded.
Yep. I can give you vMix scenarios of this. Can finish up, Robert, and then I'll give you examples.
That was just my thoughts. That was one of the things that we realized and we learned the hard way, because we had some serious issues.
Yeah. So back in the vMix, when I was full-time-ish in the vMix community, this used to come up all the time, because everybody would use USB capture cards. And they would double stack a USB capture card onto the same USB bus. And then they were wondering, but how come all of a sudden I'm getting the resolution, but all of a sudden my frame rate went from 60 down to 20, maybe 15. And that's big, yeah. And sometimes 7, like she is telling me, yeah, today. And the reason being is that the USB lane, which is a PCI lane, and I'm going to get a little techie here for a sec because we're talking about this, only has so much bandwidth that it can handle. So if you're overloading that USB port, and please do not use, if you're going to, now again, of course, the different technologies of the USB 2 only does 400, and I'm going to remember this, I swear, 480 megabit. USB 3, I think it's up to doubles that. I think it's up to 900-ish. So it gets you up to about a gig. And then your USB-C, of course, now gets you into 3, if not 4 gig per second. So you've got to think of it this way. It's always going to be from the capture card raw. Your PC, for the most part, is going to convert that raw to do X. And again, I'll do it for Frank's sake, Z. So I'm not talking about X or as the platform. But basically the scenario is that the situation is that you can physically plug in as many USB ports to one physical USB bus on a PC, but you're never going to have more bandwidth than the USB bus can handle. So it's going to get to the point where now you're pushing your luck in the regards of, Robert's situation where he's talking about the audio interface. Well, that's going to be audio raw. Yes, audio is not as big as video. Fine. And people will argue that, but Mike, it shouldn't happen because audio is not as big as video. But yes, you always have to consider that video is going to be raw and audio is going to be raw coming from these units, unless you're buying more expensive units that are doing everything within the actual capture card itself externally before it goes to the actual PC, right? And this is where you would run into, an example would be a lower end capture card that you might get for under $100 on Amazon, or you'd pay for a Black Magic card that needs a PCI slot because it has multiple chips on it doing most of the hard work for you before it's actually sending to that actual PCI slot for the PC then to deal with, right? So this is where apples and oranges, and in the vMix world, this has been a very big controversy because everybody wants to just plug in a webcam that's plugged into USB and there's my show. Fine, your results will vary, but don't come complaining back to vMix that it's their fault, which they done for years, because it's the software's fault that it's dropping frames. Well, no, because if you tried to use it even in Zoom, as our Hershey bar figured out today, it could be the driver, right? So again, that driver is operating system relying on the USB bus to bring in the raw feed, but the driver was then the problem, right? And this has happened before too. vMix There was a time where I remember correctly in the vMix world that all of a sudden NVIDIA that week put out a new update, and vMix didn't get to it fast enough to actually find out about the new capabilities, and everybody upgraded to that latest NVIDIA driver, and it broke vMix. It just went poof. And vMix was bombarded that week for a few weeks, as a matter of fact, until they were actually reached out to NVIDIA directly and going, what did you do in the driver? Did you change something in the, as we talk about here, SDK, right? It all comes down to that. So they had changed some major different things of how vMix was utilizing the GPU. And then all of a sudden, streams were dropping, frames were dropping, streams were dropping, leaving the machine. vMix was hanging, vMix wouldn't start. There was all kinds of different variations depending on the version of the card you had at the time. And this was back in the days. I don't even think there was the 1000 series at this point. I think this was back in the 900 series GPUs a while ago. But again, there's now a relationship that vMix now does have with NVIDIA, that they get more of a quote unquote heads up, so that they don't have these ultimate, everybody upgrading to the latest NVIDIA driver because Windows said so, and it breaking vMix on when it feels like it. So, go ahead, Robert.
There's the flip side of that as well, with not so much with the capacity of the USB bus, but there's also the power supply side of it. I remember when we started off, we used a lot of Elgato capture cards, and those are like, they just, as you give them as much power as you can, and they'll just want more. And we literally burnt out a couple of laptops initially, until we found out that we need to have a minimum extension cable on there just to keep the heat as a heat sink, so the heat doesn't go back onto the board. So that was one thing. The other thing I remember is with power, there was an event we did where we sent out kit to the talent, and part of that kit was an LED light that they were meant to put up and reflect off their ceiling so they came down. And one of the guys, for some odd reason, didn't connect the LED light to the power supply that he had, because it had a USB connector. He connected it into his computer. And we had exactly the same problem that Hashid was having just now. Sorry, it wasn't. It was a resolution issue. We couldn't get his resolution up, and we couldn't figure out why. And we had sent him really good cameras. And it turned out that his USB ports were just overloaded because he had lights connected to the USB port of his computer. Yeah. And the only reason I figured that out is I asked him to reduce the intensity of the light, and suddenly the resolution went up. And I was like, what's going on?
It's amazing. It's amazing. Now again, another scenario too is that some of the people still wanted to just stick to USB instead of actually buying Blackmagic cards or insert brand here. And of course, I go back 20-ish years, and I've loved the Osprey video cards ever since way back in the day, and they're still gorgeous. But when it comes to, so people still wanted to have USB inputs from USB devices, mostly webcams. So there's actually a specific PCI card that you can get for a desktop that actually has 4 USB ports on it, but it is 4 USB buses on the board before it goes to the PCI bus. I'm trying to remember the brand, but it became very popular in the vMix community for those people that wanted to have, not necessarily were the motherboards even giving enough power to, like Robert was talking about, power out of the USB. Some of the motherboards were not giving enough power sometimes to these USB webcams as well. And that would also cause the issues too. But with this card, because the bus was literally, soldered to the actual port itself, and there wasn't a long chain back, or it wasn't even a shared USB that was sharing ports in the front of the machine or the back of the machine, it gave enough power to these units as well. And it was, I'll think about it. And I've got the card in my brain, and I'm thinking it's a Star Tech.
Star Tech. Yeah, that is a brand. I mean,
yeah,
the cheaper one. Are you talking about, right?
There was actually a Star Tech, and it was a quad.
Okay.
It was a quad USB PCI.
Let me ask you this while we're talking about capture cards and all that. If you were to take a Sony, let's say ZV-1 or ZV-1F or ZV-10, what would you put it on to a capture card to at least pull out full 4K or something from it?
Okay. Explain the Hershey.
How I understand. Let's say
what are the outputs?
Mini HDMI to HDMI, I think. I don't remember the ports offhand. I'm kind of shopping for cameras for future sake, or if anyone sponsors something, then I could say, hey, give me that one. Like, I want to be quick on what I understand about the camera. But I understand if I want to hook it up, first of all, you need a dummy battery to keep it powered constantly. Otherwise, charge. But
yeah,
after that point, what connects to the PC? So then you just hook up to HDMI? But if you hook up to HDMI, are you only pushing 720 out of the camera? Because I thought you would have to have a capture card in between to pull full res off of that lens or off that camera sensor.
Good question. It would depend on. I don't know the specific camera, but let me give you the basics when it comes to outputs out of the camera. So if it has a USB capability, you're based on the USB chip that the camera has built into it and what the actual resolutions will be, right? So your mileage will vary there when it comes to the USB. Now, when it comes to either having HDMI or SDI, now that port, again, it's the same thing where the camera manufacturer will give you the specs of, yes, on the HDMI output, and what, of course, you want to make sure. And the most important thing is a clean HDMI output, right? Especially out of an SLR type camera. So let's say we get a clean SLR output out of an HDMI, then I would actually go back to the actual website of the camera and take a look to see specifically if they actually tell you HDMI out and start giving you all the different resolutions, all the way from the lowest, highest, usually highest to lowest is usually the way they'll do it. And then the next portion would be, now you've got, let's say it's HDMI, mini HDMI or regular HDMI. Then at that particular point, what you're bringing it into. So in the example of what I'm bringing our cameras into today is I'm doing SDI to HDMI conversions because I'm bringing them into my A10 Mini Pro.
What kind of camera are we talking about for yours?
My cameras are all SDI cameras. I won't get into my brand as of yet because Robert knows about them, but very few do. But they're still prototypes right now until further notice.
Mark, I don't know. I'll carry on.
Yeah. So basically I'm basically doing an SDI to HDMI conversion from the black. So I'm using a Blackmagic converter, and the actual HDMI to USB in this case is coming out of the A10 Mini Pro. So it's doing the conversion, right? So now it's up to you how you want to lay things out. If you have an A10 Mini Pro, of course, that's never a bad idea. That would get you Blackmagic coloring, right? And capabilities outside of you having to deal with the Logitech driver and its limitations. Not picking on you in that regards, but you know what I'm saying.
Pick on Logitech. Pick on all you want, man.
Yeah, pick on Logitech as much as I want. Yes, I know. But yeah, so again, it's consumer versus prosumer versus pro, right? So that's where you've got to delineate yourself too. It would be weird to have a prosumer or a professional camera go into a consumer situation, right? So you got to, you want to keep it all the same industry, right? So I would not buy a consumer capture card.
Right. Because like Scarhoy is prosumer, let's say, or professional, right? Scarhoy.
Right. Yeah. Scarhoy would be definitely consumer or professional.
Professional. Right. Because
where
they're the solid units. Yeah.
Right. Where you're going, Elgato is pushing consumer, prosumer.
with heat.
And then you're going with the cheaper models that are under $100, which is, I am what I am, and you get what you get.
You've seen them kind of, or you've had experience, and so has Robert. But would you say something like Scarhoy is more efficient lean into, or are you still BMD Blackmagic design? Because like I felt the Zoom ISO, the new one G2, the buttons feel amazing compared to the old one. So I would, if anything that they have, I would lean into that G2, just for, I mean, what it does a lot of good stuff for it, what it's worth.
Right.
But Scarhoy, I know is one of the companies out there that makes solid piece of equipment. Just from listening, research, office hours, global. But what other brands would you throw in the mix if we're talking prosumer?
If we're talking to convert HDMI signal to a capture card, then I would definitely look at people depending on how you're Magewell or Magewell. Yeah,
Magewell. Okay. It's between Magewell for sure or Scarhoy. Those are the two that I would. I forgot the name Magewell, but those are the two that I put on top of my list.
Yeah,
Blackmagic design is good, but it has it's between that. It pulls off of the consumer line, but it's just like the very beginning of prosumer.
Yeah, the Blackmagic. To be fair to Blackmagic, they're more prosumer to pro. They come down to the consumer mode because of COVID.
Right.
And that's why they built the A10 minis, right?
Right.
To hit the consumer market versus they've always been in the SDI market for years.
And this is all that we do for Zoom. Just saying, we love Zoom. We got to use Zoom. Yeah. We got to have the right video and audio quality.
That's right. And that's why we teach that here. Go ahead, Robert.
Yeah, I was just going to say, I use, and I know talking about cameras is like talking about religion, but I use Panasonic cameras, and one of the things I like about them is that you don't have to use that dummy battery because it's got a USB power line in, which is separate from the full-size HDMI out, which I really like, which is really good. The other thing about them, and that's the GH, I have some GH5s, I have some GH7s, is that you can record and stream out through the HDMI without the camera overheating. I mean, we run these things, they're really good in that respect. We're only getting 1080p out of the HDMI.
Okay.
It's recording in 4K, but it's only sending out 1080p.
But that's all you kind of need for stream most of the time anyway, right?
Exactly.
It works out.
And I'd really recommend that you, if you're...
So the reason only I'm not going towards Panasonic, I mean, Panasonic what is it? Not Fuji, is it Fuji?
Lumix. Yeah.
Oh, well, there's Lumix, but then they also have the Fujitsu or Fuji brand, and then Sony. But Sony actually has a screen reader built in those three models that I named. I'm trying to get them to put them on the FX30 or FX36 and the 2 now, but they have to hit up Japan. The team in Japan has to make that decision to say, is this a viable cost to them? So the entry level, the ZV10, the ZV1, ZVF, all have the screen reader built in, and some of the A7s and some of the CR something branded cameras. So point being that if I need to change exposure, this, that, and the other, I could at least have headphones to Bluetooth into it or something, hit the buttons that I need or use my phone, set what I need to set, unlike Logitech, and I could do it on my own, right? And if I'm out and about, if I have a little rig on it or something, small rig, and cage it up, I could manage it. I do agree with the Panasonic stuff that they look really good, but they sound great. It's just who has the accessibility features built in so that a low vision person or even a total blind person could at least get it set to where it needs to be, and then all they're doing is just pointing and walking. Mm-hmm. And so or however they use it, or in this situation at a desk, but you leave it and set it and leave it, so to speak.
I'm with you. I got you. I didn't even take that into consideration.
We could, if y'all have any contacts at Panasonic, I mean, just throw me over there, and I'll bat off the wolves. I'll let them know we need accessibility.
Yeah. So when it comes to Panasonic, I'm and again, when it comes, let me go, this is more of a topic of when it comes to the sensor, right? Because it really comes down to, yes, your Hershey, our Hershey bar needs our, the stuff in the, when it comes to, his situation.
Right.
But when it comes to, if you're in, and this is very, very important, and if anybody takes this away from the Zoom Test Kitchen today, this is very, very important. If you're already in with X model and it has X sensor in it, do not get sensor Y. You will have a headache that you just paid for the amount of extra money or the same amount of money or the less money, let's say, that you paid for that camera that has now a different sensor than your first camera. You will be there for hours trying to color correct everything, and certain things will just never look right. It just never will. So Robert is in the Panasonic world, and that is great. My cameras are all Panasonic sensors, so I'm very happy with the Panasonic sensors. I'm looking at Sony sensors as well for our cameras, but I find, and this is just me, and again, Robert, you have your own opinion when it comes to Panasonic as well. I find when it comes to the Panasonic sensors, I feel they are a lot more warmer. That Sony can be sometimes, depending on settings, and again, operator beware at this particular point, they can become very sharp. I find, to the point of sometimes even being a little too sharp. Now, sharp is good, but if you can't even dial back that sharpness, then that's where I sort of go, I'd rather have the capability of being able to sharpen than to deal back already a too sharp camera and dial it back to being more warmer, where I'm taking away from the sensor default, shall we call it? Taking a default Panasonic versus a default Sony.
Right.
Go ahead.
And just for Sony's sakes, the Sony Z1, ZV1, and the ZV1F. I think the ZV1 is the Mark II of it, so that's the newer one, came out in 2023. That's the same sensor as FX3, right? So sensor-wise, we're talking like 1-inch full sensor. Those two are very similar. It's just one doesn't have all the bells and whistles for pro users as the FX30, for example, or FX3 rather. But the ZV or ZV10, I'm not completely sure, but for what it's worth, a lot of people just say it's just a good picture. But again, there's something in between that, as we just talked, capture cards and everything else. That's how you get the best out of it. USB wise, you could get really decent out of it, but it's not. It depends on your system. It all depends.
And it also, to be honest, too, it also depends on how cheap the actual USB chip is.
That too. Yep.
That in itself is, as much as we pick on Logitech, they are not necessarily using the cheaper versions of the USB coming out of their cameras. But when it comes to, and Microsoft, same thing. When it comes to other, Mr. Lord Zoom is going to join us from YouTube here momentarily. All right. An additional person to the panelists. But when it comes to, yes, so I've seen it where I've had, as an example, when I've done a lot of testing of all different type of cameras and such, I've done the video quality coming out of the SDI, video quality coming out of the HDMI, and the video quality coming out of the USB. And you will start to see that the SDI and the HDMI are usually sharing the similar
Plus
infrastructure in the background.
Mm-hmm.
But when it comes to the USB, it's its own world, right? And all of a sudden now its color looks horrible, where it makes no sense to use the USB. It actually will hurt you more. Then it's better off that you're actually using the SDI or HDMI, that the camera, again, I'm talking more prosumer professional cameras, right? where
Does
they're
HDMI
not
have
as
its
worried.
limitations though? Like between HDMI and SDI, does it have its limitations where it could only do 1080p or something? Like just to understand that process.
Again, it depends on the quality of the actual USB
on it
infrastructure,
right,
in the background, because it's not necessarily, you're plugging in. You might be plugging in a USB-C, USB-C, USB-C
right,
plug, expecting that actually will get you full bandwidth and et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. But it's really the manufacturer in the background of, okay, we just put that port on there for convenience, but I'm only running USB 2.
And that's why you'd rather just go to Thunderbolt 5, where you have that 50 gig line, and that's what we need.
Right. Right. But that's assuming that the manufacturer does that. It again, the port can be deceiving, right? Yes. The port is not necessarily
USB-C as a name, because it works both Thunderbolt and USB-C have that same outfit, so to speak. So
right, which means that now it's not the physical port anymore that is identical. Now it's the physical chip infrastructure, where it might be, you might get better results out of Thunderbolt, but you'll get poor results USB, or vice versa, where you might get good USB capabilities, but you might get poor Thunderbolt because the manufacturer of the actual brain of that USB port was bought by the manufacturer as X, right? Where it had better capabilities this way or that way. Just because the capabilities are there. Yeah.
Kiss.
That's right.
Keep it simple systems.
That's right.
Yeah. Keep it simple. It's the best analogy, and this is not fair to mention this to a blind person, but this is like taking a JPEG of a JPEG of a JPEG.
Yes.
Those that don't know, a JPEG is an image format, and it's a lossless. In other words, it's not a perfect representation. It's interpretation. It's trying to save space, and it will slightly reduce the quality every time. Every single transport path, every single graphics chip, every single piece of software in that whole process is going to make a difference in the quality. And they're all going to be working on default speeds, default size, default number of colors, and they're all going to keep JPEGing each other's version. So the simpler. This is why, I'll let you into a secret because he doesn't like to say it outright. This is why Mike likes hardware. Because the nice thing about hardware is you get what you get. In software, we play around with settings and this and that. In hardware, you get what you get. One of the nice things about the ATEM when it first came out was this idea that you could throw anything into that HDMI port and somehow it seemed to come out okay. Now that's great, but for purists, that's disaster because it means you're not consciously thinking, I'm going to produce my end result in 30 frames 1080p. So I need to make sure everything in my chain is 30 frames 1080p. Now, if it comes to the fact that you send it out to Zoom and because of bandwidth issue, you don't get all those 30 frames sent, which is what you, Hershey, have been doing today. You've had problems and it's died. It's gone 25 to 30. That's still acceptable. You had some software issues, so it only kicked out 7. But if you can have the same, in other words, don't be a JPEG, be a GIF. Get an exact copy of everything as much as you can. Okay, one of your chips for some reason might slightly resize it or have less colors, and you may lose a bit of quality. But as much as possible, you want to have things going in and out the same. In a perfect world, every graphics chip in the chain would be the same graphics chip, so it all understood the same world. In the real world, that doesn't happen. So that's why you want to keep it simple systems. And the guys like Mike who love hardware is simply because you haven't got which version of Mac you're running or which version of Windows you're running. It's electronics going to electronics going to electronics.
I'm a believer with Mike too. I'm all about hardware is easier. I mean, the SSL too. It's not prosumer version. It's just but clean. I don't have to deal with software. Turn the knob, it's on. Leave it. Close the lid, whatever, it's going to work.
And it's exactly the same as audio.
Yeah. Yeah, it's like I don't have to worry.
Yeah. So Hershey, you've got an SSL audio interface, right?
Yes, SSL too.
Yeah. So that's
Gen 1.
that's what he's talking about, John. So yeah. So just to get back to this too, and of course, John's right too. The more JPEGs in the way in video world or audio world, guess what that also adds? Latency. Heaven forbid, everybody, when we all stream, we all want it to be exactly at the same time we sent it out the door for people to actually see it at that identical time.
And this is why I hate. That's probably not a strong word.
That's a tough word. Sorry.
But this is why I hate these software tools. And yes, I'm afraid OBS, even you are included. Mimo Live, all these other programs, which are fantastic, but they're not being, how can I put this politely? I can't put it politely. They're not being coded by a hardware guy. And so you've got these little loops within loops. So your personal video comes into the software, goes straight out to the audience. But all your speakers, and I had this on a certain show recently where I had this, I was the sufferer of this problem because my video was coming in from an external source. It was then being processed. It was then being sent out. What happened? You got the JPEG of the JPEG problem. So I looked absolutely distorted and my image was really bad compared to the presenters because mine had gone through all this extra processing. And of course, also, it had also gone through a whole load of delays. And you can bet that there would be a mic hiding there somewhere with a stopwatch trying to see if my video came out as quick as my audio. And I'm pretty sure there was a gap between the two because, again, one was being processed through all this video. The audio tends to get through software quicker, tends to have smaller delays.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and again, because it's thinner too, so that's also going to be the other scenario too. Is
Since
that
we take it back to Zoom, what is we pushing at 48K right now, right? It hasn't gone up from the 48 kilohertz on Zoom on the output.
As far as kilohertz audio wise,
yes, like
correct. As far as I know, they are still at 48, which is okay.
Yeah, it worked. I mean, like I wouldn't mind 96, 96K or I mean, I have 192 capability on this SSL too, but then most of the time you get that clickety click or sometimes it's hammering your CPU or something else, but it's this also feels on Zoom it happens more so if I take it OBS lets me 192 it all day and doesn't necessarily say, do
yes, but you've got to remember that Zoom is trying to get things across the internet.
Yeah, exactly.
And Zoom will take 100 to 200 audio streams individually and will let you see 3 or hear 3. So every time you try and push the boundaries up, you're going to make, what should we take a wild guess? 80% of home users, 30% of corporate users are going to have a problem when you start pushing these bandwidths. The reason Zoom didn't even enforce HD on everybody was because in the real world, there are lots of people with devices. They just won't tier that. And you can do 48K, but Hershey, I can bet you that most people
not going to know the difference.
They won't have a clue because their system's probably on 9.6 or even 19 if they're lucky. It's the argument we have, usually off camera, but it's the argument we have when we talk about normal Zoom users in a production environment when perhaps we're running a Zoom event and we're streaming something really important or big, and I shouldn't do air quotes in front of a blind person.
I get
where
it.
is there the demand?
It's your words.
But you know what I mean.
Say it. Yeah.
And then you've got the third level, which is the TV production, we want it perfect world. And yet the TV production world are bringing correspondents and interviewees into live TV shows, and what they're using Zoom, and the quality of the production is sometimes quite dodgy, and it's got nothing to do with Zoom. It's the fact that the person being interviewed is in a room, there's a load of background noise, so the Zoom audio is fighting just to make them be heard. They've got a webcam, if you're lucky. A lot of them, they use their laptop cam, so that's even worse. it doesn't matter how clever Zoom is now. The hardware is killed it. Oh, and they're on wireless, of course, as well. So you've got wireless dropout issues, and all of that has somehow got to get from Zoom into some quality so that it can then hand it onto these TV production broadcast places. And it's not garbage in, garbage out, but you can't make a 4K TV show a 360K video feed and it looks posh. There's no upscaling you're going to do in a TV production environment to take that horrible quality all the way up. It just doesn't happen.
Right, Rashid, here's the answer when it comes to the frequency, of course.
Sure.
If you're familiar with the different frequency levels, of course, you will understand that, of course,
I'll try my
if
best
you want to go back to all the, what's that?
I said, I'll try my best if I remember let's see go ahead, explain it, and let's see if it fits.
So again, if we do, and again, this is something that I still have to figure out when it comes to actual recordings. John, do you happen to have one of your latest recordings there locally to check? Because I'd be curious if you could do actually media info on that. But something's telling me, as John runs a wire over to his other machine, that even though we are going out right now, and I will double check stats right now because it's actually quite interesting what officially our stats are right now when it comes to audio. So right now, I'm sending 32 only, but I'm receiving 48. So that is in itself weird, because the settings that I have brought into Zoom, as far as the ATEM is concerned, is 48.
Right.
Right. So this again is infamous Zoom doing all their in the background configurations, going, no, we only need 30. We only need to send 32. Mike isn't doing, audio, the pro audio setting. So that would automatically probably kick me out of 32 and go up to maybe 44 or 48. So again, it's one of those scenarios. But yet I'm receiving audio from everybody that's currently here. So John, yourself, I'm receiving at 48 killer. Now I've seen it in past recordings. That's why I was asking John if he actually has one recently or not. That I've seen it in the archives again, as I was doing. I don't know if I did that on last week's show or not, but I was using a program via FFmpeg, one of its programs called FF Probe, and it will tell me from the hardcore information inside the actual audio, video, or even picture, what the actual true dimensions are, not what your operating system thinks it is, but what the true dimensions of the actual container, being JPEG, in this case, it would be an MP4 container that we would get as a Zoom recording. The audio that I was getting was only 32 killer.
Mike?
Yes, sir.
So what I've just done is I've just gone onto my Windows machine here, because that's where I tend to drop recordings. Yep. And I had a recording that had not been processed. So I've just done a double click. So this has been processed on the latest version of Zoom.
Okay.
And your media info app on the audio only says first audio stream 54.5 kilobits at 48 kilohertz, 2 channels.
Okay. So you did get it as a 48 kilohertz.
Yep.
Okay.
And on the video version, I get the same result, 54.5 KB at 48 kilohertz.
Stereo or mono? Just for curiosity, John.
Well, it says 2 channels, so I assume that's stereo.
2 channel. Yeah, stereo. Yeah. Media info, 2 channels. Okay.
Yeah.
So again, Harjeet, say if you were watching something on Netflix as an example, chances are the audio will be 128 kilobit per second, 48 kilohertz.
And just for reference, that's a conversion of a local recording.
That's a conversion of okay, cool.
Yeah.
Good. Thank you. Yeah. So again, Harjeet, so even the Netflixes of the world that you pay X amount of dollars every month for are not necessarily going into the 96 or 120 or 192 kilohertz range.
Absolutely. Right.
And considering a lot of these movies and such have soundtracks,
right?
They, of course, now again, are they giving it a lot more bandwidth? Of course they are. So a lot of it is going to be depending on the event. I've seen it anywhere from 320 kilobit per second, and that's 6 channel. So divide that by 6. Or I've seen it at most at 640. Again, you're dividing by 6 because it's usually set in 5.1. But the 640 has been very nailed to non-existent. And again, these are not published numbers by Netflix, just because of the fact that in the streaming media industry outside of the Zoom Test Kitchen, I know this from many of the people that actually do have privileged information when it comes to dealing with the Prime videos, the Amazons, the YouTube TVs, and et cetera, et cetera. So they are not looking at 96 kilohertz. They might master at 96 kilohertz or even 192 kilohertz per second. But when it actually gets compressed for viewers, they're doing their best to save as much bandwidth as possible too, because in our lucky world, Zoom is paying all the bandwidth costs for us using Zoom. That is part of our licenses, right? YouTube as well. How they make money to keep the quote unquote farm going when it comes to the YouTube content delivery network that everybody uses for free, and their storage that it uses for free is called ads. But again, there still is always going to be, because again, I've come from being in the streaming industry for over 25 years. There was back in the day when it used to be not only am I charging the user for storage and that server, but I'm also charging them $5 a gig for the amount of bandwidth that they're using, right? So you can see how quickly, if a Netflix video is 5 to 10 gig, that just cost them $50 out the door for that one movie in 25-year-old pricing, right?
Yes.
In the original days of streaming, which is back in the late 90s, right? Because again, we didn't know how to price streaming back in those days, right? There was no unlimited streaming,
Exactly.
because somebody has, again, there really still isn't unlimited streaming. That's still a faux pas. If everybody says that, well, you can unlimited stream from us. Well, no. Somebody's paying for it somewhere, somehow, right? There's always going to be that backhaul bandwidth. Somebody's paying for that internet pipe, right? Coming out of that server. So somebody's paying for it somewhere, somehow. It might not be hugely expensive, but it actually might also be, it couldn't be, depending on the type of internet you do have. If it's more what we would call back in the day core internet, then you're paying through the nose for core. If you're paying, I'm sending it from one machine to another machine on the local network, well, then it's a port cost, right? That's just equivalent to it being its own, let's say you're doing its own VLAN locally, as an example. That would be, very much, they do this in the AWS where you can actually have 2 or 3 machines in the same data center. Well, they don't care how much bandwidth is in that data center. They just want to make sure, because that to them is free, but they're still going to, once it leaves that switch and gets to that router, that's where the money is. Money is sitting at that router. There's a reason that we pay ISPs for that. And again, you've got to think of it this way too. In theory, we should only really be paying ISPs for their upkeep of their from your house to the CO.
To the edge, right.
Right?
Right.
Because again, that is what we should be paying for, because that first hop is never going to be past the CEO, right? We're not going to have the second hop is never going to be the internet. Let's put it that way. It's always going to be 3 or 4, if not 5 hops away automatically before it actually leaves, because of, I'm not going to get into it, but there's BGP routes and there's all that fun stuff when it comes to networking.
Yeah.
But when it comes to making sure that I'm sending that packet to John, I've got to go out from Toronto to London out this way. And ISPs also get better deals with different telecoms, so they might send it out the more cheaper route whenever possible than the more expensive route. they might have two routes where one's more expensive to send the video to John, or a cheaper route that sends it to John. Well, they're going to send it as long as they have enough pipe down the cheaper route, they're going to send it down that cheaper route and only use the expensive one as a failover, right?
Right.
So there's a lot of different mathematical calculations that your ISPs are doing. That's why when you were talking earlier that, is it the ISP limiting me on my frames? They don't care, to be quite honest. When we start blaming an ISP for them throttling your internet, then you're probably doing something they don't want you doing.
Want you to do it,
right?
Exactly. Yes.
Right. So in one way or another.
Mm-hmm.
So if they can tell, and even though ISPs don't like to publicly say this, they pretty much know what you're doing most of the time.
Right.
When it comes to traffic, especially if it's unencrypted, right?
Yes,
So basically, in this case, of course, Zoom is encrypted. So they think of it as it's encrypted traffic, so I shouldn't care. Right. Is the general rule of thumb when it comes to ISP.
You have it. Exactly.
Right.
Go ahead.
Yeah, go ahead.
Well, since I saw Tony's name in here earlier, I'm just going to throw this at you. I'm sorry if this is live, but since John went on Tony's show, I think you need to go next. I've already done it 3 times, all right? So
I've been on once already.
Okay, so hit another one. I'm just saying it's time. I think it's been a while. I'm just saying
that's true.
This is amazing conversation, but I know we're talking about Zoom, but we're also breaking down little pieces, and I think you might want to jump in another round. I think it's time.
Absolutely. Tony Mobley, are you listening? You want a round 2, Tony Mobley?
I heard he pays you for repeat performances.
You did?
I'm pretty sure he did. I'm pretty sure I heard
that. You paid in kindness, John.
Exactly.
Is that the type of payment?
Yeah.
Kindness.
If not in real stuff, yes, definitely.
Is that mean Tony's getting sponsors? Oh, wait a minute. I did notice this today. We actually made 701 subscribers. Woo! We're good.
Yep.
Yeah, we actually broke the 700 mark. So everybody that's watching us on YouTube, which is very little right now, but thank you, YouTube viewers. Cool. So I sent it. Yeah. So everybody seems to be fairly quiet on YouTube. So I'm going to wrap it up, and I'm going to do our song of the week.
Sounds great. Thank you so much, gentlemen.
Yeah. And then we'll go into,
while you're looking for that, I'll apologize to Toastmasters International because I checked the brand guidelines and there's nothing about a song for Toastmasters. So I've already written 2.
Excellent.
To celebrate the club, and I've written a 1 for people joining the club for the first time.
Well, thanks. I'll be joining a blind Toastmaster soon, so we'll see. I'll let you know how it turns out.
Well, that's cool. Never thought of that.
Well, that sounds much better than the golf Toastmasters. I worry. I have terrible visions of what golf Toastmasters do. Do they play a hole and somebody does a speech and then they play the next one? I really don't know.
Yes. All right. YouTube, enjoy as we close it out for this week.
You're screen sharing a big blank screen. Are you going to play the tune on there?
Absolutely, sir.
Okay. I wonder what YouTube see then, because you did your play out on your own thing and then you're sharing a screen. So
officially, I will say it this way. I'm officially pulling in David when he was doing his phone. And he was letting everybody know about that. But yes, I've queued up the video so that I queue it up properly. So enjoy.
Welcome to the Zoom Test Kitchen where the magic happens live. Every Friday we're on air testing tech to thrive. From screen share to breakout rooms, we push Zoom to its max. So sit back, relax, and let's see what's in our tech hacks. Zooming in, we're testing it all. Live on YouTube each week. From all
All right. Hope everybody was singing along with that. You had the karaoke version there. So I want to thank everyone for joining us this week on the Zoom Test Kitchen. Don't forget to like and subscribe to our YouTube channel to let, of course, the infamous YouTube algorithms know how much you like our content. We're here every Friday at 3 p.m. Eastern, 12 p.m. Pacific for all those people in North America. And of course, look to your local time zones for details. See everyone next week for another edition of the Zoom Test Kitchen.